There is only 1 day left until the unified exam. This is the culmination of 20 years of hard training. Teacher Chenfan divides the class. Ordinary students prepare their pens, and fighters prepare their swords and armor. The stakes are exorbitant. You can die during the combat exam, and weaklings with a rank below D are not welcome there. But Xu Jingming only smiled mysteriously, ignoring the fear of the unknown. In this world, monsters tear people apart, and only the awakened can fight them back. At 16, everyone receives a gift that will either be a ticket to the elite or a death sentence. The ranking system is ruthless. Almost everyone is condemned to a weak existence at the bottom of the pyramid. E ranker, his maximum is a tiny spark, not even capable of knocking out an enemy. The class is shocked. Is a guy with such meager potential really going to face certain death? He is openly harassed, called trash, and advised to forget about fame and choose a quiet job for pennies. While the arrogant Huang Tian is throwing mud at everyone, Lin Qinxia sternly puts him in his place, demanding that he watch his language. But he only snaps back. He intends to become the best on the unified exam and prove his superiority to everyone. As he leaves, Huang Tian throws the final poison. In his opinion, the weak Xu Jingming will die in the first minute of the fight. Lin Qinxia sympathizes with the boy and advises him to choose a peaceful path so as not to risk his life in vain. However, Jingming is adamant. Despite the shameful rank of ES, he is signing his own death warrant by choosing a dangerous combat profile. Those who choose a profile are sent to the unified exam in anomalous zones, where they fight to the death with wild animals. Only after successfully passing the test can one enter the university for the superpowered and join the elite, possessing great power. His teachers and family are in a panic. They beg Jingming to choose the humanitarian path, as with his rank, he won't be able to survive in that dangerous world. But Jingming did not forget how the parents of the previous owner of this body died at the claws of those very monsters. He never again wants to be in a situation where he has to stand and helplessly watch someone else die. Despite his low rank, the hero makes his move and officially declares, "I choose the combat exam." In the evening, while everyone else is resting, Jingming heads to the gym. Now, every minute counts. The grueling training began. With every swing of the spear, he owns his skills. Hundreds of lunges and spear strikes. Jingming trains to the point of exhaustion, honing his fighting technique, preparing for the upcoming test. And so, during the next strike, his weak electric discharge begins to saturate the weapon. Xu Jingming collapses. Exhausted, endless spear training has squeezed everything out of him, but he has no intention of giving up. After awakening at a weak E rank, he spent 2.5 years honing his weapon skills, realizing that only the lightning whirlwind technique gave him a ghost of a chance against strong enemies. The stakes are prohibitively high. The mortality rate among students who score below a D on the profile exam is rising every year, turning the test into a veritable massacre. But Jingming is ready to fight to the death, because his goal is the elite university of the superpowers, and he has nowhere to retreat. At the moment of peak despair, the world before his eyes freezes and his pupils flash neon. An interface materializes in midair. The golden finger for settlers is activated, offering Xu Jingming the opportunity to collect the newcomer's gift. My heart is pounding. What power is hidden inside this mysterious system? He recalls that in the great country of Dacia, it takes years to awaken an S rank, and the best universities wage a real war for such geniuses. Now I too have a chance to rewrite my destiny. With this thought, Jingming resolutely reaches for the shining window. With one short cry of, "Get it!" he sets in motion a transformation that will forever change the balance of power in the upcoming exam. Right during the training, Xu Jingming's heart begins to beat wildly, passing colossal electric shocks through itself. The process of integrating the unknown force is only 20% complete, but the energy being released is already beginning to tear the house apart. Jingming barely holds back a scream as his body becomes the epicenter of a devastating electrical storm. Residents of neighboring houses watch in horror as columns of blinding flame and lightning burst from the windows of Xu's apartment. Panicked eyewitnesses call the fire department, certain that a powerful explosion occurred in the Xu family's home. Despite the hellish pain Jingming continues to absorb, the progress reaches 60%, finally breaking the limits of his rank, E. At this moment, the sky above the entire city is suddenly covered with abnormally black clouds, plunging the streets into darkness. A giant, ghostly dragon of pure electricity materializes above the building, its roar shaking the surrounding area. The high-ranking masters sense this terrifying pressure and mistake Jingming's awakening for a full-scale monster attack. The 3rd Military Corps of Jiang City is immediately put on full alert, preparing to strike at the source of this incredible power. Su Jingming finally awakens his true power, the S-rank skill, Purple Lightning. The destructive power of the skill is so great that even the echoes of its energy almost turn the training hall into ruins. In addition to this power, the system gives Jingming a newbie's gift, a whopping 200 free ability points. Without wasting a second, he opens the system interface to wisely manage this unexpected bonus. A personal card unfolds in front of him. Xu Jingming is still unranked, but already possesses S-class spear technique and lightning whirlwind. Tomorrow is the crucial day of the entrance exams, and Jingming decides to pour all his spare points into spear techniques to push his combat power to the limit. He understands that any superpower is just a superstructure that must be based on the ideal harmony of spirit and body. The system instantly distributes resources, and Jingming's stats begin to rapidly increase before our eyes. The hero's body is pierced by streams of dark and electrical energy, taking his physical capabilities to an incredible level. Feeling an unprecedented clarity of mind and a surge of qi, Xu Jingming realizes that he is now fully prepared to show what an S-rank holder is capable of in the exam. Xu Jingming begins grueling training, honing his spear-wielding technique to the point of automatism until every movement sparks with primal power. The improvement in his base stats immediately makes a difference, increasing the power of his combat moves and his control over electricity to a whole new level. Looking at the system interface, Jingming sees that his constitution and spirit have increased by 20 points, a colossal increase that greatly enhances his qi. With a slight grin, he wonders what place he will occupy among the 700,000 candidates of Jiangnan province and how the recognized geniuses will look against his background. To finally confirm his progress, Jingming decides to immediately head to the martial arts hall to measure his actual performance, but his plans are interrupted by a roar. The door to his training room literally flies off its hinges from a powerful blow from a boot. A squad of firefighters burst into the building, finding a stunned Jingming in the middle of the ruins of his own home. The squad leader hurriedly reports that an emergency call has been received at the control panel due to a report of a fire in this sector. Jingming remains calm and explains to the specialists that the destruction is merely a side effect of the powerful wave vibrations during his superpower training. Having confirmed that there is no real threat, the firefighters cancel the call for backup, not even suspecting that they have witnessed the awakening of a true monster. The destruction left by Xu Jingming's training was so extensive that rescuers could only shrug their shoulders. The young man had clearly spared no effort in preparing for the upcoming battle. But there was no time for idle talk. Along the way, Jingming met neighbors who admired his perseverance because there were only a few hours left until the unified exam. In a world where rank is everything, it's not enough for the awakened to simply have talent. They must spend years torturing their bodies and spirits in special halls to improve the effectiveness of their powers. And so Jingming finds himself in front of Thunder Square, one of the most famous training grounds, whose logo inspires awe in every fighter. The choice was not accidental. While the elite hall Fierce Bear charges hundreds of thousands for admission, Thunder Square remains free and accessible to those who are ready to work hard. As Jingming pushed his way through the crowd of armed practitioners, he suddenly noticed a familiar face that he clearly didn't expect to see in such a place. It was Tung Chi, his cousin, whose proud look and confident gait immediately revealed her to be a talented fighter. Jingming didn't miss the opportunity to call out to his relative, wondering what had brought her into the public arena at such a crucial moment. The girl merely dryly confirmed that she had come to train with a friend, trying not to linger in conversation with the low-ranking loser. Realizing that there was no point in saying anything more, Xu Jingming moved further into the hall. Hard work awaited him, because during the exam, the monsters would not look at his pedigree. Zichi's friend, upon seeing the handsome guy, immediately bombards her with questions about the mysterious handsome man. The girl dryly explains that this is her cousin, who tomorrow, like them, will take part in a dangerous combat exam. Having learned that the guy is single, the classmate already begins to make plans for their happy future together. However, Zichi immediately shatters her rosy dreams with the harsh truth. Jingming only has a paltry E rank. The local bully never misses a chance to make a sarcastic remark. In his opinion, taking the exam with such a weak gift is pure suicide. But Jingming doesn't care about other people's opinions. While the company is away discussing its high ranks, he remains true to his goal. To avoid wasting time on idle chatter, the guy heads to the Fierce Bear training hall to give it his all before the final test. Finding himself alone with the training dummy, Jingming picks up his usual weapon, a spear. Gripping the shaft, he freezes in surprise. Thanks to grueling training, his body has become stronger, and the old spear now seems like a toy. There was no time left to search for new equipment, which meant that tomorrow he would have to prove to the whole world what the owner of a weak rank was capable of with this spear. Xu Jingming begins his training by testing his basic abilities, choosing to perform a direct spear strike without using any magical abilities. A powerful lunge falls on the target, demonstrating the results of his grueling training with bladed weapons. The scoreboard records impressive figures, and Jingming notes that even the walls made of a special alloy shake from its pressure. His raw physical strength has doubled, but for him, this is just a foundation on which he plans to build something more powerful. Excitement flashes in the boy's eyes, and he finally decides to activate his weak ability, Divine Lightning. A furious electrical charge envelops the spear, transforming a normal lunge into a devastating elemental attack. Jingming is delighted. The power of the hidden S rank allows him to produce results that ordinary low-level E possessors could never dream of. But that's not the limit. By combining muscles, combat technique, and lightning, he concentrates all his energy in one point for a decisive move. With a deafening cry, he delivers a rupture strike, releasing a colossal amount of accumulated power. The destructive wave is so powerful that people in the hall panic, mistaking Jingming's attack for the start of a powerful earthquake. Got it. I'll cut out the unnecessary bits. Here's the raw text for the voiceover, divided into meaningful blocks for each screenshot. The school building shook from a powerful roar, and frightened students rushed to the source of the noise to understand what had happened. The group's leader froze in a cold sweat, feeling the residual waves of energy on his skin. Such power is only available to high-level awakened. The students were perplexed. This floor is intended for regular training, since all of Dazia's strong fighters are now in the special center, Fierce Bear. However, the mysterious vibrations were all too real, and the guys decided to find out who was behind it at all costs. As they approached, they realized that the energy was coming from right around the corner where Xu Jingming appeared at that moment with his training spear. His classmates called out to the boy in surprise, not understanding why this E-rank holder was so calm and was already getting ready to go home. As Xu Jingming walked away calmly, wishing everyone good luck on tomorrow's exam, the group rushed into the hall he had just left. Stopping in front of the door, they still could not believe that the source of such colossal power was located precisely behind this wall. But when they opened the door, the boys were literally speechless. The training area had been turned into a pile of scrap metal and concrete chips. Seeing that even the super strong memory metal had been shattered, the students realized that a real monster was lurking among them. Looking at the torn-up wall of the training hall, the students cannot believe their eyes, because the power and fury of this attack is clearly beyond the capabilities of an ordinary schoolchild. They are convinced that an experienced second-rank master was secretly training here, because even geniuses from provincial capitals cannot reach such a level at their age. Only one girl, with doubts, remembers that before them, only Xu Jingming was in the hall. Could he really be a hidden genius who decided to stun everyone at tomorrow's exam? But her classmates only laugh at her, saying that the owner of the pathetic E rank is only capable of burning a couple of hundred calories and not hiding great strength. To avoid admitting the obvious, the boys decide that the mysterious warrior simply went to the other end of the corridor and asked Tong Chi to assess the situation. The girl moves closer to the debris, feeling with her skin that there is something more behind this destruction than just a random blow. Looking closely at the nature of the dents, she realizes that such deep and clear marks in the concrete could only have been left by a precise and deadly spear strike. The image of Xu Jingming pops into her head, and Tong Chi begins to wonder, did he really overestimate himself so much by deciding to take the combat exam? Meanwhile, the day of the unified exam arrives, and crowds of students arrive at the ruins of an abandoned city that has been turned into a death zone. The atmosphere is tense as shadows of monsters flicker behind the fence. This time, the tasks will be truly tough because an encounter with a one-horned rhinoceros awaits them. During the exam itself, the arrogant Zhou Minyan immediately begins to pressure the newcomers, declaring, "If you can't handle even a one-horned rhinoceros, then you're worthless and have no place at the University of Superpowers." His brazen speech is interrupted by Lu Jie, Xu Jingming's best friend, who is not going to tolerate such humiliation towards the participants. But Minyan is not just a chatterbox, but a true first-rank monster with a B-class ability, light and swift wind, whose strength has already gone beyond that of an ordinary person. Looking at this genius, Xu Jingming does not feel fear, but only asks a cold question: which of them will be stronger in a real fight? Suddenly, the noise of the crowd is drowned out by a loud command. The commander announces the beginning of the official part of the unified examination in Zhangcheng. The candidates are confronted by a stern Wang Haiyan, who immediately reminds them that the safety rules here are written in blood. The future heroes have exactly 12 hours to survive and prove themselves in the ruins of a destroyed city teeming with monsters. The territory is divided into zones. The closer to the center and the core, the more ferocious the creatures, and the higher the reward for their destruction, the commander warns bluntly. The core is a death zone for the best of the best, and you shouldn't put your points above your own life. But Xu Jingming, who only yesterday was afraid to leave the outskirts, now confidently clutches his spear. His goal is to break through to the very center and take victory for himself. The hour X has arrived. The participants of the unified exam are gathered at the buses to receive equipment from their class teachers. Xu Jingming approaches the registration desk, where the teacher gives him a standard set of 3 items needed to survive in the monster zone. The kit includes a smartwatch for tracking kills, a tactical backpack with 12 hours of supplies, and a safety ball that creates a protective electric field. The teacher sternly warns, activating the ball will save your life, but will mean immediate failure from the exam, because life is more valuable than any points. Suddenly, the silence is broken by a clear girl's voice. It is Lu, an old acquaintance of Jingming, hurrying towards him through the crowd. Knowing about his weak E rank, she invites the guy to join her team and promises to cover his back once the battle begins. However, the other group members are furious. They don't want to drag along the burden with them, since the team limit is only 5 people, and they need high scores. Lu's friends openly resent her decision, believing that Jingming will only hinder their ability to effectively destroy the ferocious beasts. None of them believe that a guy with a useless electric shock is even capable of passing the test, and they are ready to abandon him at the last moment. Jingming only quietly thanks Lu for his kindness, knowing that in this exam he will have to rely only on his spear and personal training. Xu Jingming shocks his acquaintances with an unexpected announcement. He will take the exam alone, refusing any backup. His friends are perplexed, as with his E rank, it is almost impossible for him to survive alone, but Jingming is adamant. While the others frantically gather in groups and search for strong allies, Jingming only silently watches from the sidelines. There is no fear in his eyes. He is confident that even without outside help, he will get the highest score and prove his worth to everyone. Drones soar in the sky, and the announcer's voice announces, the 2037th Jiangcheng University Military Entrance Examination has officially begun. Dozens of candidates, swords and spears at the ready, rush into the testing area, striving to be the first to spill the blood of monsters. The atmosphere is tense as experienced fighters fly into the ruins of the city at breakneck speed, beginning their hunt. Amidst this chaos, Jingming confidently grips his spear, ready to finally put the fruits of his grueling training to use. A second to check his equipment, a short beep, and his fate in this exam begins to be decided here and now. The system instantly confirms candidate Xu Jingming is officially registered and enters the game, where the E rank will no longer be his sentence. Xu Jingming watches the successes of his fellow students with excitement and realizes that the time has come for him to show what a spear wielder is capable of. Not wanting to waste time on small skirmishes, Jingming rushes into the thick of things, to the central war zone. But suddenly, along the way, something strange attracts his attention, forcing the guy to sharply slow down. A horrific scene unfolds before him. One of the exam participants lies in a pool of blood, and a useless amulet lies nearby. Looking at the poor guy's severe injuries, Jingming realizes that the teacher was right. This exam turned into a real meat grinder. The guy understands that if he didn't have any hidden trump cards, he could have found himself in this unfortunate man's place at that very second. Casting aside his doubts, Jingming activates the help signal for the wounded man, because in this brutal test, every mistake could cost his life. Suddenly, Jingming's instincts are on high alert when he notices a dangerous movement in the shadows of the buildings. It becomes clear that the wounded soldier was just bait in a cunning trap set by a bloodthirsty monster. A ferocious ghost cat bursts out from an ambush, and now Jingming must prove in practice that his spear technique is stronger than any rank. In the unified examination arena, Xu Jingming faces his first serious opponent, a ferocious beast thirsting for blood. Without wasting a second, the monster makes a lightning-fast dash, but Jingming deftly moves out of the line of attack, waiting for the perfect moment. This is the rookie killer, a beast with jaws capable of crushing tons of bone and speed that leaves no chance for the weak. The beast flies into a rage, and its eyes flash with an ominous purple light, foreshadowing imminent reprisal. Jingming knows that these monsters possess a special aura that paralyzes the will of most awakened ones, forcing them to meekly await death. While the children of wealthy families train from childhood in hothouse conditions under the protection of bodyguards, Jingming has no room for error. For him, this is his first real fight, not for life but for death, or his entire future in this new world is at stake. The Shadow Cat makes a final leap, closing the distance in a split second. but Jingming already has his spear tightly gripped. By charging the weapon with an E-rank electrical charge, he delivers one precise, crushing blow straight to the beast's heart. The enemy is defeated, and the system instantly awards strength points, confirming that Xu Jingming's path to the top is only just beginning. Xu Jingming understands that while killing beasts provides points to enhance abilities, small game provides little benefit. Not wanting to waste time in the outer zone, he rushes to the very epicenter of the battles, to the central exam zone. Along the way, Jingming calmly clears out crowds of unranked monsters, methodically adding points to his piggy bank. And although his powerful thunder technique kills enemies instantly, the young man realizes that, this way, he will not gain real combat experience. Moreover, S-rank trump cards drain energy too quickly. He can't hold out in a long battle with just one Thunder E. To conserve his strength for the finale, Jingming chooses a strategy of endurance. He will fight his way to victory with only his spear. The first serious test does not take long to come. A huge horned monster blocks the road. Instead of a magical attack, Jingming performs a lightning-fast maneuver, soaring directly above the enraged beast. In one perfect leap, he concentrates all the power and momentum of his body, aiming for a vulnerable spot. A precise spear strike seals the deal. Xu Jingming proves his skill is far more dangerous than any special effects. With one sharp lunge, Xu Jingming knocks down the monster, realizing that his body has finally begun to obey his mind's commands. Enemies that once seemed like a mortal threat now fly apart with every swing spear technique has clearly reached a whole new level. Looking at the system interface, Jingming confirms his suspicions. His skill has officially reached intermediate level, and his ability points continue to increase. This new sense of permissiveness is intoxicating, making the guy wonder what other heights he can reach with this progress. Right in the heat of battle, dozens of advanced techniques flash through Xu Jingming's mind, which he immediately begins to put into practice. Breathing heavily from the adrenaline rush, he feels every cell in his body vibrate with a new, crushing force. Now Jingming thirsts for true blood. He is ready to challenge the ferocious first-rank beasts to test himself to the limit. At the same time, a group of students passes nearby, and one of the girls freezes, noticing a familiar, swift silhouette in the distance. The squad leader only smiles skeptically, because, for a guy with an E rank, appearing in such a dangerous place is guaranteed suicide. But despite the logic, the girl can't look away, wondering how the weakest student managed to change so much. A group of students stumble upon the carcass of a huge monster, and one of them shouts in panic, "Come here quickly, I think the rhinoceros is dead." The blood had not yet had time to dry, and the beast's head was pierced through by a powerful blow from a spear. This ferocious predator had fallen very recently. The student freezes in shock, realizing the incredible, could it really have been the same guy she just saw who did it? Others simply refuse to believe it, as only a C-rank awakened being can defeat this beast. How did the weakling, Xu Jingming, deal with it? To dispel any doubts, the students decide to immediately check the updated ranking of exam participants. The system doesn't lie. Xu Jingming from the second school skyrocketed to 46th place, causing everyone to shudder in surprise. While the crowd wonders if this is a mistake and where the E rank got such power from, Xu Jingming continues his quiet but deadly triumph. Meanwhile, the elders observe the exam, noting the dominance of the first school and the success of their leader, Zhou Minyan. Zhang Wenshan, director of the education department, beams with pride as he predicts that Minyan will be among the top 100 fighters in all of Jiangnan province. Elite school principals are showering their leadership with praise, unaware that this year's biggest surprise has been prepared for them by a universally despised loser with a spear. While the leaders of other schools celebrate their triumph, the leadership of Second High School is in despair. Their best student barely clung to 18th place. The director is furious and demands that his students immediately come to their senses, as only 8 people have made it into the top 50, and Xu Jingming's name suddenly appears among them. This name leaves the teachers speechless in bewilderment. No one has ever heard of such an outstanding talent from the advanced class. The shocked curator cries out in surprise. How could the trash he had written off have managed to break into the top 50 fighters in the country? E-ranker could hide his true S-rank power for so long. The cameras didn't record a single one of Jingming's fights, leaving the commission completely in the dark about the price he paid for his insane score. Meanwhile, Xu Jingming had already reached the central zone, a place with an extremely high level of danger where only a few survive. Every movement he makes through the ruins is filled with icy calm, and the crunch of broken glass under his feet only emphasizes the oppressive silence of the abandoned city. While snacking on the go, Jingming notes that the ordinary beasts have fled these streets in fear, giving way to elite-ranked monsters with the beginnings of intelligence. But that was precisely his goal. Xu Jingming gripped his spear tighter, noticing the one ahead for whom he had come to this damned place. As soon as Xu Jingming entered the central zone, the silence of the city exploded with the furious roar of an armored tiger. However, Jingming didn't flinch. He simply calmly noted that he was lucky to have encountered a first-rank beast so quickly. Gripping the shaft tighter, he realized this was the perfect moment to finally experience the fruits of his grueling spear training. The monster, without wasting a second, rushed into a crushing attack, bearing fangs capable of cutting through steel. But Jingming's reaction speed was faster. With one lightning-fast dash, he got out of the trajectory of the fatal blow. Looking at his opponent's strength, Jingming only grinned in disappointment. The strength of an ordinary tiger was clearly not enough to force him to give it his all. "It's time to say goodbye," he said shortly, moving from defense to a swift counterattack. The spear tip crunched into the beast's flesh, staining the asphalt crimson and interrupting its furious run. A series of precise and accurate blows left the monster with no chance of escape or counterattack. With one final move, Xu Jingming flew past the fallen enemy, leaving behind only silence and the ruined scenery of the city. Xu Jingming engages in combat with a first-rank monster and is amazed by its incredible resilience, as the beast continues to resist even after suffering severe wounds. But there is no retreat. Jingming makes a sharp lunge with his spear, using all the speed he has gained to hold back the furious onslaught of the armored tiger. By backing up his blows with his electrical charge ability, he makes it clear to the monster that no matter how much he resists, the outcome of this battle has already been decided. A powerful flash of energy pierces the air, and the tiger lets out its last dying roar, choking on its own rage. The predator's enormous bulk collapses to the ground, drenching the arena in blood, and Jingming pauses for just a second to catch his breath. The system instantly notifies you of victory. For killing a rank 1 elite beast, you receive 14 ability points, almost twice as many as for ordinary monsters. Jingming realizes that the examination hall, which has become a death trap for others, is the perfect place for him to rapidly level up. He decides to make the most of his time and rushes into the thick of the enemies, ready to kill an entire horde of monsters for the sake of the coveted points. Meanwhile, in the observation hall, the results light up on the scoreboard. Xu Jingming breaks into the top 50 best students, causing the teachers to disbelieve their eyes. While his colleagues showered Chen Fan with praise for such an outstanding student, he only modestly denies it, realizing that this incredible breakthrough is solely due to the iron will of Jingming himself. The observation room is in shock. Xu Jingming's ranking suddenly soars to 25th place. No one understands how an underdog could gain so many points in a single moment. Observers are calculating the odds. Such a score is only possible if Jingming slaughters first-rank elite monsters in droves. Judging by the data updating every 4 seconds, the speed of his battle exceeds all acceptable limits. In a single renewal cycle, Jingming destroys an entire group of beasts, a phenomenal rate not seen here for years. The stunned director demands details, but the class teacher himself can hardly believe his eyes. Teacher Chen admits, Jingming has a shameful E rank and a practically useless weak electricity ability. The audience is perplexed. How can a person with a low rank, who is even dissuaded from taking the exam, show such results? The leadership understands that if it is not a matter of rank, then Jingming has an incredible mastery of combat techniques. At this rate, this guy with a spear at the ready is threatening to break into the elite top 10 any minute now. Now, all eyes are glued to the screen. They are about to find out how the weakling managed to accomplish the impossible. Shock in the control center. Observers and teachers are horrified by Xu Jingming's pace. They realize they underestimated his potential. The appearance of Teng Qi, the 12th ranked candidate. She recognizes Jingming's signature attacks and realizes that a serious competitor has emerged in the exam. The reaction of the ranking leader, Zhou Mingyang. He is furious and perplexed that some unknown newcomer has so quickly climbed into the top 10. Jingming kills a rank 1 Shadowcat. He confirms his theory, hunting in the central zone is much more effective for farming points. The hero notices a surveillance drone hovering above him. This is a sign that he has officially entered the top 10 and is now being watched by the entire country. Jingming's philosophy. He decides to no longer hide his true strength, considering reaching the top 10 just the beginning of his journey. Interface demo. The hero has 312 ability points. He decides to invest in his stats before entering the most dangerous nuclear zone. The problem of evolution. Jingming realizes that points alone aren't enough to reach the ability user rank. He needs a special cultivation method. Base upgrade. The hero spends points on enhancing physical strength and spirit to get the most out of their current state. The episode concludes. Jingming receives a massive stat boost and, fully prepared, advances to the center of the zone. On the battlefield, Xu Jingming is confronted with a true nightmare, a ferocious armored tiger king mercilessly tearing apart its prey. Jingming understands that before him is not just a beast, but an elite leader surrounded by a whole pack of 9 predators, whose aura suppresses all living things. Despite the risk, Xu is not going to back down, because for him, this is not just a threat, but a generous catch that can raise his rating on the exam. But suddenly, Jingming's heightened senses detect a strange presence. Someone is watching him closely from the shadows. "Come out, I've found you," Xu says in an icy tone, forcing the hidden pursuer to reveal himself. To Jingming's surprise, Zhou Minyan appeared before him, clearly not expecting that a rookie with an E rank could break into the top 10 so quickly. Tension rises between the fighters, and Xu Jingming suspiciously asks how this powerful master knows his name. Minyan grins, explaining that he knows all the strong candidates by sight, and Jingming is the most mysterious dark horse of this exam for him. However, the friendliness quickly turns to menace. Minyan puts his hand on his sword, suspecting that Zhu wants to brazenly appropriate his loot. Realizing the power of the first-ranked tiger, Minyan suggests joining forces, but Xu Jingming only tightens his grip on his spear and snaps. No need. Xu Jingming takes the exam alone, determined to prove that an E rank is not a death sentence. A pack of elite monsters is sent against him, ready to tear the daring newcomer apart. Jingming is calm. He sees that the animals are acting tactically, but this only provokes him. In an instant, the distance is reduced. The battle for survival in Dacia has begun. The observers are shocked. They are waiting for the boy to die, unaware of his true potential. But the spear in Jingming's hands turns into a deadly whirlwind, sweeping away everything in its path. The monsters try to counterattack, but only beat helplessly against the steel defense. Jingming literally pierces through everyone who dares to come close. Even the leader of the pack falls dead. The spear's technique proves stronger than the beast's fury. The fight is over, but Jingming is not satisfied. He craves even more power to become the absolute peak. Xu Jingming is surrounded by a pack of ferocious tigers with bladed paws. The witness freezes in horror from the monster's thirst for blood. But Jingming only gripped his spear tighter. "You won't intimidate me." The young man does not wait for an attack and rushes at the enemy himself. With one powerful blow, he smashes the leader into the asphalt. The system credits points, confirming an instant win. An eyewitness is shocked. This guy dealt with the elite in one fell swoop. Jingming just smirked. The hunt for glasses had only just begun. He leaves the corpses behind and goes in search of new prey. The shocked witness runs after him, not believing in the power of an ordinary spear. Xu Jingming rushes into the thick of the battle, declaring that his true strength is lightning speed. Competitors are furious. They don't believe that the owner of the garbage E rank can be so arrogant. But Zhou Mingyang's favorite is in a panic. He sees this weakling, mowing down hordes of monsters one after another. Reality hits the ego. In the overall rankings, Jingming is already in first place, leaving everyone far behind. The judges in the stands are amazed. The 18-year-old boy wields a spear at the level of a top-class master. Principal Zhao is overjoyed because with such a genius, his school is guaranteed to enter the top 100 in the entire province. The old man literally cries with happiness. Jingming has finally made everyone take their educational institution into account. 3 hours later, silence reigns in the center of the zone. Not a single living creature remains here. The remaining participants are perplexed as they search for targets to hunt, but find only traces of a monstrous massacre. Even the top ranks are forced to huddle together, as Xu Jingming single-handedly cleared the entire location to 0. While others are terrified of the central zone, Xu Jingming remains icy calm. His opponents try to put him in his place by telling him to just look at the leaderboard. But reality hits them in the gut. Jingming takes first place with an insane lead of 3,400 points. It turns out that this guy single-handedly mowed down almost 200 ferocious animals, while others were hiding. Skeptics are shocked. All this time he was not running for monsters, but rather cold-bloodedly clearing them out according to plan. A group of elite fighters offers him an alliance because the lair of the second-ranked kings lies ahead. They are sure that they can only survive there together, and they invite Jingming to come with them. But the hero has his own plans. His supplies are running low, and the exam time is almost up. Instead of retreating, Jingming decides to go even deeper into the core of the zone for maximum points. Xu Jingming is confident that the grueling spear training has paid off, and he is ready for the final exam. But the exam turns into a battle for survival when an elite monster bursts into the arena. Jingming is calm and is only estimating how strong this second-rank beast is. The other participants are horrified. They clearly did not expect to encounter such power. In front of them is the bloodthirsty wild bear, a real nightmare for any student. The beast easily crushes everything in its path, leaving no chance for a simple victory. Eyewitnesses are in a panic. Even missiles can't touch his skin, and one blow from his paw will be the last. Among the candidates, talk begins of immediately abandoning the mission. After all, besides the bear, the entire complex was filled with other ferocious creatures of the first rank. While weaklings throw away tokens to save their lives, Jingming prepares to defy fate. While everyone is hiding on the roofs, a lone fighter is noticed below. This is Shu Jingming, a guy with a useless E rank who decided to challenge the system. The crowd is shocked. Some admire his audacity, others predict his imminent death in this crazy test. But Jingming has no time for screaming. He is already in the center of an enraged pack of monsters. One jerk, and the faithful spear begins to reap its bloody harvest. The animals attack from all sides, turning the exam into a real meat grinder. The encirclement ring is tightening, cutting off any escape routes for Jingming. A flash of rage, and it seems that the crowd of monsters has completely swallowed the hero. Observers are sure he is a corpse, but his cousin refuses to abandon her brother in trouble. She doesn't care about rules or ranks. She's ready to jump into hell to save Jingming. During the exam, Shu Jingming finds himself in the middle of a massacre, surrounded by ferocious monsters. Those around are terrified. They feel the power of the very same force of light that Jingming mentioned. Realizing that physical strength alone is not enough, he decides to finally awaken his hidden superpower. The S-class aura literally suppresses all life within the combat radius, causing enemies to tremble. But the path is blocked by the bloodthirsty wild bear, a huge beast with frightening energy. The monster rushes to attack, intending to crush Jingming with its colossal mass. Jingming is at ease. He knows that divine thunder is the perfect weapon against such a slow target. He is only irritated by the bear's small retinue, which prevents him from delivering one decisive blow. Having concentrated all his energy into the spear, Jingming takes a deep breath. Lightning flashes. Jingming intends to clear the entire exam area in one fell swoop. Shu Jingming's spear turns into a bolt of lightning, instantly piercing through the ranks of monsters. The system is flooded with notifications. Every kill of a first-rank beast gives precious superpower points. Jingming is thrilled by the power of the S-class, even though the electricity is literally burning his body from the inside. With one powerful swing, he throws back an entire flock. This charge is enough to subdue any predator. The triumph is interrupted by a wild roar. An elite boss, thirsty for blood, enters the arena. A huge crystal bear blocks the way, and Jingming has to push his body to the limit. Leaping into the air, he dodges the crushing attack, preparing a counterattack from above. "Are you angry that your little ones are dying one after another?" Jingming openly mocks the monster. Breaking through the ordinary beasts, he aims straight for the giant's heart. But the boss reads his movements in advance. The battle enters a deadly phase. A ferocious beast of the first rank goes on the offensive, not suspecting that this is his last battle. The huge monster is trapped, completely open to a deadly attack. Shu Jingming delivers a devastating spear strike in midair, using all the momentum of his body. Having dealt with the smaller targets, he directs a weak lightning bolt straight into the boss's forehead. The electric charge is concentrated on the tip, piercing the monster's thick skin. A powerful explosion of energy blinds the drone cameras, recording Jingming's triumph. The other exam participants freeze in shock, unable to comprehend the scale of what they are seeing. Silence reigns at the commission headquarters. No one expected such strength from the loser. "Is this rank E? Are you kidding me?" the experts scream in panic, looking at the instruments. Jingming has proven that his spear technique and will are capable of outshining even an A-rank elite. The observers are shocked. Is this an ability mutation, or has Shu Jingming been hiding his true power all this time? While officials are wondering whether this day will be a triumph for the entire Great Doxia, Jingming is already demonstrating what the holder of a weak rank is capable of. A true nightmare appears before him, an enraged, bloodthirsty bear of the second rank, whose fangs are ready to tear apart any daring newcomer. A lightning-fast spear thrust reaches its target, but instead of a fatal wound, only a pitiful scratch remains on the beast's skin. Jingming understands that it is impossible to penetrate such armor with electricity, and the difference of 2 ranks makes this monster practically invulnerable to normal attacks. Feeling threatened, the beast becomes enveloped in a sinister, dark aura, entering a state of extreme rage. What? Xu Jingming didn't expect the monster to use its trump card so quickly. The bear's enormous bulk rises into the air, crashing down on the young man with a crushing blow that makes the earth shake. But Jingming is not about to give up. He's caught up in the rhythm of the battle, maneuvering through the rubble to the accompaniment of crackling discharges. The beast has activated Berserk, and now this battle for survival is turning into a true test of Xu Jingming's will. An enraged beast appears before Xu Jingming, radiating pure bloodlust. Jingming is calm. He sees that the monster's strength in Berserk mode has grown, but this is only the beginning. Having lost its mind, the beast became predictable. Xu Jingming decides to attack from afar, using agility. A lightning-fast dash to the side, and Jingming is ready to deliver his fatal counterattack. He concentrates sparks of electricity in his hands, waiting for the perfect moment to attack. The spear crashes into the flesh, piercing through the monster's defenses. The powerful impact causes the huge beast to lose its balance and crash into the concrete. Divine lightning of the nine heavens. Jingming activated the hidden potential of his ability. A devastating electric discharge turns the battlefield into the epicenter of a total explosion. The dust settles. Xu Jingming stands over the fallen enemy, proving that rank E is just a letter. Xu Jingming is confident that his divine purple lightning will pierce any defense in a matter of seconds. But there is no time to think. An enraged, bloodthirsty bear is rushing straight towards him. Jingming only smiles coldly, realizing that the moment of truth has arrived. He grips his spear tighter, begging the elements themselves to bend to his will. Combining the power of lightning and the fury of a hurricane, he concentrates all the energy into the tip of the weapon. Thunderous, breakthrough. With one lightning-fast strike, Jingming pierces the monster through and through. The system confirms the triumph. The second-rank beast is defeated, and 24 points are added to the piggy bank. Jingming admits that the victory would not have been possible without upgrading Lightning Barrage to an advanced level. A short but most exciting fight of his life leaves the hero at the peak of excitement. Now his goal is to clear the entire central zone and get the maximum number of exam points. A shocking number flashes on the scoreboard. Xu Jingming has 10,805 points. The crowd is stunned. The weakling E-ranker has crushed all the favorites. This isn't just a victory, it's an absolute provincial record. The examiners are ecstatic. Before them lies a genius the likes of which the country of Dacia has never seen. While everyone is discussing his triumph, Jingming only grins cheekily from the screen. He is already officially the best fighter of this year. But the exam is not over yet, and Jingming has no intention of leaving while his spear thirsts for more monster blood. Having killed all the elite creatures in the center, he decides to clear out the remaining small fry. Every point of experience is important to him. The other competitors watch in horror as the leader of the ratings rushes at full speed back into the danger zone. His classmates don't understand. He's already defeated the second-level boss and won, so why risk his life any further? But judging by his direction, Jingming is returning to the thick of the enemy for an all-out massacre. The witness's eyes widen. Does he really intend to kill all the monsters in the area? The answer is obvious. Xu Jingming will not stop until he turns this trial into a personal graveyard for monsters. Xu Jingming gained such momentum that his allies panicked and decided to split up, otherwise he would take all the monsters for himself. A frantic race for survival began. Everyone tried to snatch the last points until the leader cleared the location to 0. Suddenly, the drone's voices cut through the sky. The 2037 exam was officially over. The hunt for beasts was over. For the exhausted participants, this was a signal for salvation. Finally, this hell was over. On the battlefield, cries of joy and groans of those who were just one kill short of a passing grade mingled. While the others were crying, Jingming only sighed in disappointment. Too fast, I didn't even have time to enjoy it. The guards began to lead the survivors out of the training ground, and everyone's eyes were fixed on the mysterious guy with the spear. The crowd dispersed in silence, realizing that today they had witnessed the birth of a new legend. Chiki's friend pounced on her with an interrogation. Was this monster Jingming really her cousin? Having received an affirmative answer, the fan immediately began to beg for the phone number of the new genius Das. She refuses. Yesterday's underdog suddenly topped the list of the best, causing everyone around him to panic and reconsider their attitude towards him. Students rush forward, pushing each other, just to be the first to see the one who accomplished the impossible on the exam. Jingming comes out with a spear in his hands, his gaze saying it all. Rank E is no longer a joke. The square explodes with shouts. Yesterday's weakling is now being begged to share his points and showered with congratulations. Keeping his composure, Jingming walks through the crowd that had not noticed him until recently. Those around were shocked. No one expected that a monster of such a level would emerge from an ordinary school. The director of the Department of Education, Zhao, personally meets the boy, offering him a seat in his limousine instead of the bus. Jingming disappears into the car with relief, escaping the intrusive cameras and endless questions. The director immediately takes the bull by the horns, which top university does the strongest graduate now intend to enroll him. After rigorous training, Xu Jingming suddenly realized that due to his preparation, he had not thought about entering the university at all. The teacher reassures him, with his skills, the entire country of Dacia is open, but he only needs to choose from the 3 best universities. The first is Qingqin, a direct route to government structures in the elite right from the center of the capital. The second is Modu, a wealthy port city and the best clubs for those who strive for the top. The third is Jingcheng, an ancient fortress with secret techniques that every student dreams of. Jingming is hooked on the main thing. Only there do they know the secret of how to turn an ordinary awakened into a master of superpowers. The difference is colossal. Elite methods allow you to achieve in 6 months what takes others years. The mentor is confident that any of these universities will offer Jingming the most favorable conditions under the special quota. Having accepted the information, the guy looks out over the night city, preparing for a new stage in his life. In the morning, Jingming decides, if he doesn't get the best university, then all that awaits him is the wild zone and deadly, dangerous leveling. Sister and Aunt Xu come to Jingming's place but notice that the door has been knocked down. Despite the oddities, they decide to sneak inside and give the guy a surprise. Auntie replaced Jingming's parents, always warming him with homely warmth and care. She was very worried about the exam and assures her nephew the result is not important, the main thing is that he is alive. Jingming realizes that there is no point in hiding his success any longer. His sister gives him a sign that it is time to reveal the truth in person. Jingming stuns his aunt with news. He has scored more than 10,000 points. The woman is literally speechless from such a shocking statement. The sister confirms the record score, while the stunned aunt tries to recover. Looking at Jingming, she can't believe that their weak relative has accomplished the impossible. Xu Jingming finally achieved success, becoming the greatest pride of his loved ones. But officially, he is just a weak E-rank carrier with a useless ability to manipulate electricity. The commission is perplexed. Such abnormally high scores on the exam are simply impossible for a weakling. Officials are confident that the provincial boy cheated because his fighting skills are at the elite S-class level. However, the intervention of power from above immediately puts an end to all disputes. Jingming is temporarily recognized as an S-class recruit, but his strength is placed under strict supervision. At that moment, confirmation arrives on the guy's smartphone. Absolute first place in the province and a record score. The grueling spear training paid off. Jingming proved that perseverance beats any rank. The press immediately picks up the sensation, turning the award ceremony into a battlefield. Now, the director will have to publicly answer, how did a loser manage to top the ratings? The school releases a recording of Xu Jingming's exam to confirm his incredible result. The audience is shocked. Jingming, with the rank E, cuts off the head of a monster that even strong awakened ones cannot handle. The video puts an end to the controversy. Jingming's power is real, and he is officially recognized as the best student. For such a triumph, the guy is awarded 1,000,000 yuan, the keys to the villa and secret strengthening techniques. Journalists are going crazy, and the name of yesterday's underdog is now splashed across all the main headlines. But the skeptics are not asleep. The influential guest suspects doping and is eager to personally test Jingming's strength. While reporters search for a hero, the organizers are in a panic. The main hero of the day has still not appeared. The director is amazed. Instead of a holiday, Jingming chose a grueling workout in the gym without wasting a second. Meanwhile, in the VIP lounge, the atmosphere is heating up. Important people are waiting for the hero, making the teachers tremble. The stakes are too high, and the reputation of the entire academy depends on whether Jingming comes. The tension in the room is off the charts. An ordinary person can barely stand the aura of such monsters. High-level superhumans have gathered together, and the atmosphere is tense to the extreme. Director Zhang of Modu University is the first to attack, looking for a new target. Su Yun of Qingjing has no intention of giving in. If Jingming's talent is confirmed, he will be theirs. Minister Wu Yuan makes a blunt statement, declaring that Jingming must go only to his university. Sparks literally fly between the masters. There is always a war for the best students in the province. And at that moment, Xu Jingming himself appears at the door with his trusty spear on his back. His spectacular appearance immediately silences the great masters. Director Zhang is delighted. The guy didn't even flinch under the pressure of 3 superhumans. The elite of the academies have been presented, and now they will begin a real battle for the right to train Jingming. Everyone present has seen his video and acknowledges his power. But they can't believe that it's E rank and ask for an explanation. He told them that he was struck by lightning before the exam, and because of this, his powers became stronger. It was like a superpower mutation. She brought a device to test Xu Jingming's strength. He just needs to use his superpower. He begins to put power into the device. Everyone present was shocked by his power. Detection ends. But at the moment of calculating the force, the device in Xu Jingming's hands explodes, unable to withstand the monstrous release of energy. A powerful surge of electricity shocks everyone present, calling into question his weak rank. The instructor is in a panic. A routine test has turned into an uncontrollable anomaly. Observers are delighted. Jingming has overloaded the system, proving that his level is a true S-class. Recruiters understand that they have the main prize of the exam in front of them, which is worth fighting for. Jin University immediately offers a 4 million contract and top-of-the-line equipment. But competitors just laugh at such a price, preparing to play bigger cards. The stake instantly skyrockets to 6 million and grants full access to any military equipment in the country. Jingming is shocked. Yesterday's outcast has become the #1 target for the entire elite. Modu University is going all in, offering S-class resources that will make them the strongest. Modu University goes all in and offers Xu Jingming S-class resources, shocking its competitors. While others are in disbelief, Jingming tries to understand the value of such a generous offer. They explain to him they are talking about materials from dragon-like creatures, the elite among monsters. These creatures are born with devastating power, far surpassing that of ordinary ferocious creatures. The blood of a level 8 dragon will give Jingming physical strength capable of competing with legendary monsters. The rivals understand that they simply have nothing to put up against such wealth. It's time to choose. Representatives of the 3 best universities are waiting in anticipation of an answer. Xu Jingming doesn't think twice and chooses Superpower Moda University. His goal is not only resources, but also the best combat training school in the country, which has trained dozens of champions. After bowing politely, Jingming closes the admission issue and prepares to become even stronger. After triumphing at the exam, Xu Jingming received a direct invitation to one of the country's top universities. This is the Modu City Superpower University, where Jingming, as a special talent, is offered exclusive conditions and housing. But comfort doesn't bother him. The guy immediately demands access to secret training methods and combat archives. Having received the curator's personal contacts and guarantees of access to the library, Jingming begins preparing for departure. He looks forward to training at Modu, realizing that this is his main chance to become stronger. At the station, the boarding announcement is made. Train G91 is ready to whisk Jingming away to a new life. Uncle Tang Dowling and his wife couldn't hide their tears of joy. Their nephew had finally achieved recognition. The family hopes that Cici will also enroll in Moda to look after her brother in the big city. The girl herself only blushes silently, realizing what a huge gap now separates her and Shuya. Even on the road, Jingming does not rest, studying the deep-sea training method so that he will be fully prepared upon arrival. Training methods are divided into ranks. The higher the level of technique, the faster the strength grows. Currently, Jingming only has an average cultivation level and 180 units of spiritual power. Practicing the new technique, he learns to absorb the energy of nature on the very first day. The system suggests raising the level, but Jingming deliberately presses the brakes. His goal is to find the ultimate training method at the university to get the most out of his potential. At the site, Teacher Zhang meets him to personally accompany him to registration. The scale of the Dacia Training Center is astounding. It's a veritable city, covering an area of 26 square kilometers. Jingming is delighted. Seeing the abode of the strongest masters in person is an invaluable experience. Student ID in hand, now he is officially enrolled in the elite ranks. Even the conditions in the dormitories here are based on status, motivating Jingming to grow even faster. Instead of a dorm, Xu Jingming receives a luxurious villa as a reward for his high scores. Here, the conditions are dictated by the rating, and Jingming is allocated 800 square meters of luxury housing. The boy, who grew up an orphan, is glad to have a neighbor. It is better to live in company than in empty luxury. Registration is complete. It's time to learn the strict rules of this elite university. Everything rests on 2 things: a personal mentor and a strict credit system. Credits are more important than money here. They buy everything from food to the rarest artifacts. For his S rank upon admission, Jingming immediately receives the first 100 credits to his account. The mentor summons Eve, a personal AI assistant in the form of a hovering drone. This level 4 robot will become an indispensable assistant in everyday life and during training. Jingming is shocked by technology. This world will give him a chance to become truly great. At university, Xu Jingming learns about the main bonus, the personal mentoring system. Jingming is perplexed. Is it really possible for a first-year student to get an elite teacher? The curator confirms. Mentors have high-level superpowers and access to secret combat techniques. Of the 4 lightning masters, Jingming is recommended to have the best one, Dean Yang Gentian. Yan's stats are impressive. 7th rank strength and experience in killing level 8 monsters alone. There is a lot of information about other masters, but you need to make a choice right now. Spear plus lightning? Xu Jingming realizes that Dean Yang is the perfect mentor for his style. The teacher's residence looks luxurious, emphasizing their elite status in Dasha. At the entrance, Jingming is met by a cheeky stranger who asks about the purpose of his visit. Upon learning of the guest's low rank, he falls into a stupor. How dare this weakling appear before the dean? At the dean's house, Jingming meets Tang Minyan, who is shocked that a weak awakened person was admitted to the elite group. Senior Minyan learns that Jingming is a freshman who has just managed to get his documents. He is amazed by the newcomer's audacity, since mentors are usually found only after a major competition. Minyan explains, the competition is the main tradition of Modu, where masters choose their best students. He is sure that Jingming came in vain, because becoming a student of the dean himself is almost an incredible stroke of luck. Jingming only calmly clarifies whether Minyan himself came here for the same luck. The guy admits he has been receiving rejections for 6 months, but hopes that today he will finally get an opening. Suddenly, the doors swing open and a butler appears on the threshold. The servant very politely invites the guests in, informing them that Dean Yang is already waiting for them. Minyan is delighted with such a reception, not even realizing that the dean was waiting for Jingming. Xu Jingming arrives for a meeting that will determine his future as a spearmaster. He is met by the legendary Yan Jitian, the dean of the academy, and a 7th rank power holder nicknamed Thunder Spear. The master gets straight to the point and leads Jingming into the hall for a decisive test of his abilities. Yan Jitian wants to see for himself what everyone is whispering about, his incredible S-rank ability. Jingming concentrates his energy, preparing to show the full power of his true gift. The hall shook from the divine thunder of the purple sky, confirming the guy's status as a genius. The dean is struck to the heart. The rumors turned out to be true. In front of him is an indisputable S rank. He understands that with proper training, Jingming is capable of surpassing even himself over time. Yan Jitian invites the young man to become his personal student and learn from all his accumulated combat experience. But he warns immediately, being his student means becoming a new target for all his enemies. To survive, Xu Jingming finds a mentor who has been through the hell of real battles. The master is impressed and declares Jingming his first S-rank disciple. The mentor imparts to him a secret training method and the technique, Thunder Indestructible Body. Jingming understands that this is not just a technique, but a rare way to radically strengthen the physical body. This method is the elite of university programs, created on the basis of the master's many years of experience. The guy is shocked. He has an S-rank technique in his hands that others can only dream of. In the world of Blue Star, the hierarchy is strict. The higher the rank, the more difficult the mastery and the more powerful the result. Yan's technique is unique. It uses hidden points of the body to completely transform the lightning element. The master sends Jingming to train, promising to personally help with the foundation upon his return. Jingming realizes that with such a mentor, his weak E rank will soon no longer be a death sentence. Xu Jingming is betting everything on the Thunder Indestructible Body technique, aiming to break through the 10th level ceiling. His goal is absolute invulnerability, which will turn his body into the perfect weapon. Having completed the audience, Jingming confidently walks past the broken and desperate candidates. The sight of the losers only makes him wonder, was the exam really that difficult? The beaten student panicked and insisted that it was simply impossible to defeat Senior Lu with his tenfold strength. The loser tries to console Jingming with the general failure, but he dryly cuts off, "I passed." The crowd is shocked. Dean Yan has never accepted new students before the official competition. While they whisper behind his back about connections with the director, Jingming only smirks at their naivety. Immediately upon returning to the hostel, he plunges into deep meditation without wasting a minute. The raging energy of the highest level proves that Xu Jingming is now head and shoulders above any competitor. Xu Jingming realizes that his regular training has become too slow and decides to immediately raise the bar by investing his accumulated points into development. With one click, he begins a level-up process that should permanently alter his combat potential. Jingming plunges into deep meditation, concentrating all his internal energy for a decisive, qualitative breakthrough. A sharp pain from the excess of power pierces his body, but he only clenches his teeth harder, holding back the flow that is bursting out. The training hall shakes with a powerful explosion of energy, marking the final breakthrough through old boundaries. Breathing heavily after the transformation, Jingming realizes that he has finally become a full-fledged first-rank awakened one. Now his palms sparkle with divine thunder, and the very nature of his power has reached a whole new level. He feels that he has become 5 times stronger, and is now able to defeat the most dangerous monsters even without his trusty spear. Its characteristics have skyrocketed by almost 100 units, clearly demonstrating the colossal superiority of advanced development methods. Having achieved success, Xu Jingming decides to save the remaining points to later turn them into mastery of martial techniques. Xu Jingming takes on the S-rank technique, Thunder Indestructible Body, despite the insane skill point cost. Before the sun had risen the next day, he had already returned to his mentor. The master is shocked. He cannot believe that the student came with a report so quickly. In 20 years, the teacher had never seen anything like it. Jingming mastered the basics of the most complex technique in less than a day. The guy himself just smiles modestly, admitting that creating the foundation made him sweat. But to complete the hardening of muscles and bones, the hero needs the blood of a rare thunder beast. Seeing such talent, the mentor decides to personally help Jingming lay the foundation of strength. Instead of regular bear blood, he gets something truly elite. This is the 8th level blood essence, the legendary Thunder Tyrannosaurus. Jingming is amazed by such generosity and vows to the master that he will justify this trust in practice. The mentor sees the fire in Xu Jingming's eyes and decides, let's begin immediately, without further ado. The caustic blood of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus is poured directly onto Jingming, hellish pain, but this is only a warm-up. Now the true thunder fire comes into play to forge an indestructible body within the boy. The master delivers a devastating lightning strike, literally driving the power of the elements into every cell of the student. Jingming is at the limit of his strength, but he must endure in order to be reborn from a weakling into a legend. Witnesses below are shocked by the endurance of a guy who refuses to give in under torture. Even experienced fighters admit, Xu Jingming is doing the impossible by absorbing the essence of a rank 8 beast. His S-rank lightning combined with such hardening promises to reveal something terrifying to the world. A deafening explosion of energy comes from above. The training has reached its peak. Guests rush into the hall, not believing their eyes. Did he really create that very foundation? A guest appears in Jingming's room, but the moment for the visit turns out to be the worst possible one. The boy's body is suddenly pierced by powerful discharges, and his mind is clouded by primal rage. The girl is terrified. Jingming gives off the aura of a wild beast ready to kill. Losing control, he charges forward, transforming into a deadly bolt of lightning. "Wake up!" The teacher's sharp cry bursts into consciousness, tearing the boy from the abyss of madness. Jingming freezes a step away from his goal, struggling to contain the energy raging within him. When he comes to, he realizes that he almost destroyed everything around him due to a sudden thirst for blood. It turns out that this is a side effect of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus essence being absorbed into his body too quickly. The mentor warns the side effects will go away, but Jingming will have to learn iron self-control. The guy accepts the challenge because, on the path to true strength, he has no right to make a mistake. The man says that Xu Jingming's absorption rate has reached 98%, which is perfect, and explains that among the more than 20 disciples who cultivated the Thunder Indestructible Body under his guidance, the highest absorption rate was only 92%, and Xu Jingming broke the river. The man congratulates Xu Jingming on successfully laying the foundation for Thunder Indestructible Body, and explains that his future in martial arts will now proceed smoothly and easily. He explains that his senior disciple, Lu Ming, is standing next to them, using third-level abilities and his belt. Xu Jingming says hello and explains that he hasn't prepared anything for the other person, so he'll transfer some credits as a welcome gift from himself, a senior student. The man on the phone reacts. He says that 200 credits is too much, and is surprised that he was given 200 credits as a gift. The man explains that 200 credits is not that much for a senior student, and he should take care of Xu Jingming like a younger brother, and if he has younger students, he should prepare welcoming gifts for them because the students know this very well. The teacher explains that the foundation has been successfully laid and advises rest after 5 days without food or sleep. He also tells him to come back tomorrow morning to study fist and spear techniques with his senior student, Lu. Xu Jingming thanks the teacher. The image shows a building with large windows and a balcony, a street lamp next to it, and green trees growing around it under a blue sky with clouds. The guy shouts that he's already eaten today. Xu Jingming is surprised. The guy says he must be a neighbor and greets, introducing himself as Lu Wentao and expressing his joy at meeting him. Xu Jingming greets him and introduces himself. The man is surprised when he repeats Xu Jingming's name and asks if he is the top student from Jingnan province. The white-haired boy asks if he knows about him. He explains that they call him Mr. I Know It All, and that he knows a lot about most of the freshmen in their class. The white-haired boy says he didn't specifically collect information about Shuzu. The white-haired guy asks Xu Jingming if he is really from Jiangnan and explains that he was awakened during the entrance exam because his abilities are not at all like those of an E rank. Xu Jingming says that his new neighbor is so talkative and friendly and admits that he really likes it because he always hated being alone in both his past life and this one. He says he grew up in an orphanage and was never adopted by a family, and he never felt a sense of belonging. He explains that he had a lot of friends at school, so everything was fine. The man says that the happiest time he often misses was his time in college, when he would have fun with his roommates every day and play various games with them. Xu Jingming explains that after that, he got his degree, and no one knew that after drinking at graduation, The white-haired boy says that with this roommate, he won't be lonely anymore, and that he never expected to become an orphan after this. He smiles. The white-haired boy explains that he is one of the top 20 in Sichuan province and has A-rank spiritual abilities. A white-haired guy asks about the martial arts gym and says he'll go too, since he's never been there before. Xu Jingming explains he needs to go to the martial arts gym and suggests they talk later. Superpower Modu University Martial Arts Hall. The white-haired guy says there are a lot of people here. Xu Jingming remains silent. The guy with the fiery fists says he's finally mastered his C-rank combat technique, extremely blazing yang flame. The woman with the blue energy circles explains that he still can't penetrate her metal skin. The man in the orange t-shirt explains that with his. Xu Jingming explains that this is a general training room with a capacity of up to 300 people at a time, and explains that the entire hall is cast from a C-rank alloy mixed with memory metal, so one can train without fear of damaging the equipment. He explains that if necessary, you can choose a separate room for training, and the other man says that now there is no need for this, it is also good here. The guy says they're competing to see who's stronger, and notes that they're very loud. Xu Jingming explains that the other guy isn't exactly quiet either. The guy explains that this guy is apparently one of the best in Sichuan province and has an A rank, while the other one is loud. The guy asks Ava what these pillars are for. The robot says these are the tables for a striking power test, with 5 leaderboards corresponding to 5 skill levels, and offers to give it a try, promising a 50 credit reward for reaching the top 3,000. The guy asks if he can get 50 credits for reaching the top 3,000 and is surprised. The guy says he'll try. The man explains that there are just over 4,000 students at the entire fashion university. The man explains that to begin the test, you need to place your student ID card against a pole, and that the use of abilities and combat techniques is prohibited during the test. A man holds his ID up to the window. Xu Jingming says Lu Wentao with number 203721256 is participating in the Strike Power Challenge, and the guy is calling for support. The guy with red hair says someone started a power test, and the man in the orange shirt explains he's a level 1 intermediate and looks like a first year. The guy with short blonde hair explains it'll definitely be interesting to watch. The guy says that they are making a big deal out of the test, and in front of so many people watching, he can't lose face. The guy screams and delivers a powerful kick. The guy says that the force of the blow was 476 units, and it was a great blow, and then explains that he did not lose face, and it will not be difficult to get into the top leaders. The guy says his punch rating is below 100,000 and is surprised that the rating is below 100,000, explaining that there are only a little over 4,000 students in the entire university. The guy explains that the board has been tallying the scores of all the students at Modu University since its founding 100 years ago. He shouts that it's no wonder everyone was looking at him, because they were waiting for him to make a fool of himself. The guy in the white t-shirt laughs and says that this kid is as red as a tomato and definitely a freshman. The guy in the orange t-shirt laughs. The guy with red hair says that a score below 100,000 is surprising, and his score wasn't this low when he was a freshman. Xu Jingming tells him not to worry, as the spiritual element is used in the attack, and physical strength isn't his strong point. The man thanks him for the consolation and suggests he try the test, assuring him that Xu Jingming will be stronger than him. He says that he also wanted to test his strength, and the guy explains that he will succeed, and the honor of their room depends on him. They announce that Zhu Jingming, number 203701-2004, is participating in the Strike Power Challenge and are asking for support. The man notices another participant has started the challenge. The man with red hair says that this one is even weaker and looks like a first-year level 1, and the man with dark hair explains that this is a lower level 1 rank and asks if he can get at least 400 points. He explains that his name sounds familiar and tells. The guy says he's about to find out what level his punch power has reached. Su Jingming delivers a powerful blow, creating a vortex of energy around himself and striking the target with tremendous force. He shouts that he's not afraid of them and warns that if anyone comes close, he won't hold back. The man in the orange shirt says he's being overconfident, and the man in the white shirt explains that they're not going to back down so easily. Su Jingming explains that the force of the impact was 4,518 kjaps. The voice says that this is incredible strength and congratulates on breaking the record, announcing first place for Xu Jingming with a punching force of 458.9 kg, second place for Liu Yang with a punching force of 4321 kg, and third place for Chen Dahai with a punching force of 4122 kg. The red-haired guy is surprised that he's broken the record for the strongest punch. The man in the white t-shirt says it's over 4,500 and asks if people of low rank are capable of such a feat. The man explains that he can turn someone into a pancake with one punch. The girl with pink hair says she's heard about the unprecedented heights of the top 1,000 on the leaderboard and is amazed at what he can achieve. The girl with short blonde hair explains that the first place record has stood for over 10 years, and she should remember this historic moment for the rest of her life. The guy shouts that from now on he will always follow Xu Jingming and go wherever he says, and Xu Jingming says that there is no need to praise him so much. He says the result is much better than he expected, and that he and Thunder T-Rex are in perfect agreement. The man explains that the effect. A voice congratulates Xu Jingming on his new record and announces that 400 credits have been credited to his student account. Xu Jingming asks if he can break the record again. Will he be able to win another prize? He explains that only the first record on the same level counts and explains that one can complete challenges on other levels to earn credits. He explains that the other 4 pillars correspond to superpowers from the 2nd to 5th levels, and he'll deal with that later. The man with white hair explains that he's his neighbor. The girl explains to Xu Jingming that it's his first time here and offers to teach him how to use the equipment. The woman explains that their club is short-staffed and invites him to join them. The boy laughs. The guy says he's going to a separate training room. The guy explains that the entire campus forum is talking about Xu Jingming and that he broke the record by lifting over 4,500 kilograms on his first attempt. His strength is incredible. The man explains that he doesn't understand why Xu Jingming went to the gym instead of getting a proper rest. The woman says that when she was at Xu Jingming's level, she only lifted a little over 3,500 kilograms and explains that he is quite stronger than her. A man looks at his phone while leaning on a table. The guy shouts that Xu Jingming has also come to Moda. The man says that because of him, he lost the title of the best candidate of Jiangnan province, and this time he must regain his honor. Xu Jingming says that having mastered the indestructible thunder body, he is full of energy even after 5 days and 5 nights without rest and food. The man explains that these innovations give him durable skin comparable to an E-rank alloy, and for an ordinary person this is equivalent to invulnerability to blades and spears, and also explains that this is a true S-rank enhancing technique. The guy shouts out Jingming Jingming and tells him that the news of his record has been discussed all day on the campus forum, and that so many people are writing to challenge him. Xu Jingming replies, "Ah." He says that everyone at the university has such a strong fighting spirit. Xu Jingming explains that there's no point in wasting time on this, tells him he needs to go to the combat equipment library, and suggests they return to the dorm. The guy shouts that he'll help Jingming defeat the smug guys. Library of Military Equipment. Xu Jingming explains that rumors have been circulating about the deputy director in charge of the library possessing spatial superpowers, and that these rumors have proven true, explaining that with such protection, even 9th-rank great warriors will be unable to obtain the treasures hidden within. Then Xu Jing. The man explains that this is a pass. Xu Jingming stands in front of a building, with glowing energy circles swirling around him. A woman greets 5th-rank student Xu Jingming at the martial arts library and asks how they can help. The woman asks if he knows her. The second woman explains that S-rank students have special powers and can view all records of martial arts in the library, and also says that they received a message about his visit when he scanned his student ID. The woman explains that S rank status allows one to have unlimited potential and will help one master higher-level superpowers in the future, and adds that one needs to become friends with him. Xu Jingming says he wants to see martial arts techniques with super lightning powers and asks which floor he should go to. The woman explains that books of B rank and below are in the reading rooms on the second and third floors, while more valuable editions can be found in the reading room on the fourth floor, where you can. The woman asks to come here. The man thanks her. The voice explains that after selecting combat techniques, the original secret manuals will be provided online, and warns that the original secret manuals for B-rank combat techniques are extremely rare, so one should be careful when reading them. Xu Jingming says to show all the lightning elemental combat techniques of B-rank and above, and the drone replies that it is good. He looks at the holographic screens that suddenly appear in front of him. Xu Jingming says that Modu University has many interesting secret manuals on SS rank and even SSS rank techniques, and is surprised that all of this is free. He says that development requires both superpower and level, and he is currently only able to learn A rank techniques. He explains that high-level combat techniques are truly countless, listing the offensive type, defensive type, movement type, auxiliary type, body refinement type, and tells. The guy explains that the mentor immediately gave him a list of recommendations, which saves a lot of time. Xu Jingming explains that there are two types of people in this world, those who can see and those who can't, and points to multicolored holograms. He explains that these holograms contain information that only certain people can see, and points to them. The thunder spear concentrates thunder into a long, hurling spear. The thunderous blast explodes with a loud roar and travels a set distance in the target direction. The thunder cannon is a long, thunderous weapon that continuously strikes enemy vital points, accumulating thunder. Xu Jingming explains that thunder spear is a ranged attack, thunder cannon is a strong attack, thunder flash is a movement attack, and thunder prison is a crowd control attack. He explains that with the combination, the voice explains that 4 A-rank combat techniques have been selected. The average duration of study for each to the basic level is 6 months, and recommends mixing these techniques in reasonable quantities with other low-level techniques. He says this is sufficient. A woman tells student Xu that she has recordings of martial techniques for him. Xu Jingming says that C-rank and B-rank martial techniques are worth millions, but A-rank is priceless, and is surprised that there are 4 books at once. The man explains that the deep artistic concept and aura of high-class fighting techniques are only available in the original manual, and a copy is not able to reproduce such. Xu Jingming explains that it is late and he must finish reading. He says he finished reading it all and added points. Xu Jingming explains that his level is lower 1. His superpower is Purple Sky Divine Thunder. His physical strength is 3091, and his spirit is 289. He explains that his skills include advanced level shooting techniques, Thunder Spear, Thunder Flash, and Thunder Push. He says there are so many fighting techniques, and I wonder who will be the first to feel the power of his fighting techniques. The image shows a nighttime cityscape with an illuminated building featuring a balcony and a street lamp in the foreground. The moon shines in a sky surrounded by clouds and stars, and trees and other buildings are visible around it. There are no text or characters in the scene. The white-haired boy tells Xu Jingming that Ming and Eva announced a freshman meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m. on the first training floor, and that they've created a group chat for freshmen that they should join. Xu Jingming says that's fine. The guy asks what level of techniques he chose, and he explains that he chose 4 A-rank techniques. The guy is surprised that there are 4 A-rank martial techniques, and that Xu Jingming will study them until his 2nd or 3rd year, and explains that, as expected of Xu Jingming, he does not take the easy way out. The white-haired guy asks if he masters A-rank techniques, does that mean he's an A-rank himself? He explains that he is an S-rank. The boy is surprised that Xu Jingming has an S-rank permit, and asks why he only has an S-rank permit if their school has a permit higher than A-rank. He explains that maybe Xu Jingming isn't an E-rank, as rumors say. Xu Jingming is surprised that S-rank superpowers exist, and explains that he thinks the other person, who considers himself a know-it-all, learned something new today. The guy screams. He explains that while he could have guessed that the clearance level could be higher, no matter what level he had, he certainly didn't expect that he had an S rank, and explains that the other top candidates in the provinces only have an A rank. The guy says that he definitely made the right decision by becoming the first fan, and in the future, he will be the oldest fan. Xu Jingming explains that he has good combat skills, but also needs to improve his weapons. He explains that he left his first F-rank weapon at home, but even if he had brought it with him, it wouldn't have been able to withstand his current strength. He tells Eva to open the university store and find a weapon in the form of a spear. Eva agrees. Xu Jingming says that he can customize the length and weight of F rank, E rank, D rank, and other weapons, but he chooses the E rank weapon weighing 210 kg because the higher the rank, the more expensive and heavier the weapon, and also chooses the E rank combat suit and combat boots. The voice explains that the purchase of an E rank long spear, a combat suit, and combat boots worth a total of 237 credits has been successfully completed. The weapons and combat suit will be delivered tomorrow, and that the package should be checked for receipt. He explains that the credits are being spent so quickly that there is almost none left. Xu Jingming says that until he receives his new weapon, he will have to hope that it does not break, and explains that he will practice 4 new A-rank techniques tonight. It is reported that a meeting of first-year students will take place the next day. The woman says it's Xu Jingming, the same one who broke the school record yesterday, and that he's also the top candidate in Jiangnan province, noting his strength. The girl explains that she thought he'd be a muscular hunk, but he turns out to be unexpectedly handsome. Lei Zhou challenges Xu Jingming. The man explains that Lei Zhou is the second candidate in Jiangnan province to score over 9,300 points, and explains that he heard that he was born with a silver spoon in his mouth, and that his parents possess rank 4 superpowers. He explains that it's a shame no one. Xu Jingming says he's sorry, but he's not interested. The white-haired man listens. The man tells her not to rush into refusing, and explains that he heard about the business of selling rare flowers and exotic plants from the interlocutor's aunt, asking if this is true. He is surprised. The guy explains that his family is the biggest buyer at the other guy's aunt's store, and she owes a little, and also explains that if the payment is not made on time, she may have problems. Xu Jingming says he is being threatened. The guy shouts that he is not afraid, and he explains that he is not going to give up. The guy wonders why he has such a furious, beast-like aura, and explains that it's not a threat, but just a warning. The man explains the time and place to meet in 7 days at noon on the 3rd platform. Xu Jingming says he'll come and hopes the other man won't regret it. The guy with the red hair says that 1st place versus 2nd place in 7 days will be quite a spectacle, and the man in the brown jacket explains that they will need to arrive early to get a good spot. The man says he's addressing his dear students. The man says that he welcomes everyone to Supercell Modu University, Magic City, Shanghai, and that this meeting is not yet the official opening ceremony. He explains that he gathered everyone to answer questions regarding the credit system and the personal mentoring system, as well as. The man explains that they will use virtual immersion technology to fight in a holographic simulation, and the ranking will be determined by the number of successful completions, and everyone should try to climb the rankings because the rewards will be very generous. The woman explains that she cannot afford to lose this deal. The woman explains that there will be a lot of work this year and advises not to relax. The man with gray hair explains that he is already prepared for it. The man with greenish hair remains silent. The man in the beige jacket stands behind. The guy says that it's finally all over, and the only interesting thing about this meeting is the virtual immersion technique, which is worth trying sometime, and also explains that for the next few days he will need to study with Lu Ming and the mentor. The woman explains that if he doesn't want to fight, he shouldn't have provoked her. Xu Jingming says he didn't intend to fight, and wonders why she thinks that. The man explains that if he fails the test, he will die, but if he passes, he will gain power that will allow him to become stronger. He says he is not afraid and is ready to accept the challenge. The man warns that the test will be very dangerous and requires complete concentration. 7 days have passed. The man asks Xu Jingming how long it took him to reach level 1, and Xu Jingming explains that he was just lucky. The man says that he deliberately waited a few days because he only needed 386 superpower points to reach level 1, and if he hadn't waited a couple of days, he would have definitely aroused Lu Ming's suspicions. The guy explains that the other guy has a battle with a newbie today at noon, and Xu Jingming confirms this. The guy says he'll stand for a minute of silence in honor of his opponent, and then explains that he'll go along with him to see how strong he is, since he's at the peak of his form right now. The man explains that he can't afford to lose because it would mean the end for him. He says that if he loses, his life will turn into hell. The man says he must win at any cost. The gray-haired man explains that the freshman tournament starts in a month and is a good opportunity to test the strength of the province's top candidate. The man in the yellow vest explains that he checked the data and Xu Jingming earned the title of top candidate thanks to the remote exam format, which he's counting on. The man in green says wow and calls Xu Jingming as he walks forward. The woman wonders how many people he'll be able to charm with his newfound success. A man with black hair stands with his back to her, holding a long object. 2 men look at him. The man says Xu Jingming's rating has increased, but he has something else in store. The man says that simply picking a winner is too boring and suggests betting, asking if Xu Jingming would dare to bet all his credits. Xu Jingming explains that he has 370 credits. The man says that the other person has quite a lot of resources, and he will definitely be able to use them, and also explains that to avoid any deviations, all loans will be immediately transferred to Master Zhou's account. The man explains that this is Zhou Yun, a 6th-level, middle-ranked, super-powerful healer-type being. Xu Jingming stands with a spear in his hands, and the woman stands with her arms crossed. He explains that battles between beings with superpowers are extremely dangerous, and no one at the university wants the students to get seriously hurt, and then says there is no problem. The guy says the fight costs 3.7 million and is surprised by such generosity, and the man with the staff explains that he feels this fire. The woman says that the credits have been received and both sides must prepare for battle, and also explains that if one side admits defeat or loses consciousness, the other side will stop attacking or punishment will follow, and asks if everything is clear. A man shouts that today he will return the honor taken from Xu Jingming. The sign reports a massive fire. The man says that this is to be expected from an A-rank fire superpower and that it is amazing, and also explains that even from this distance it burns badly. The man screams and strikes with his sword, causing a trail of fire. A man jumps and strikes with a sword surrounded by flames, while Xu Jingming stands with the sword behind his back and looks at him. The man shouts that he will not let Xu Jingming get away, and strikes with his sword, which he meets, reflecting the attack with an ice blade. The guy says he didn't use a fighting move but still blocked the attack, while the man explains that a normal attack broke the powerful move. The guy shouts that it is impossible. Xu Jingming says that nothing is impossible and the other person is just weak. He screams as the man stabs Xu Jingming in the chest with a spear, who is surrounded by electric shocks and kicks away the attack. The man screams and emits electrical energy, while traces of blood are visible on his body. A man delivers a powerful blow with a spear, accompanied by electrical discharges and splashes of blood. The man falls to his knees, smoke billowing around him, and bloodstains are visible on the floor. The guy in the beige jacket says Xu Jingming's strength far exceeds that of the other freshmen, and is surprised that Lei Zhou was able to defeat him with one blow. The man in dark clothing explains that most freshmen wouldn't even be able to block that fiery strike. The man said it was so boring because he couldn't get Xu Jingming to use even 10% of his strength. The woman says that the winner of this sparring match. The guy is surprised and calls the teacher, then says that he hasn't given up yet and the sparring isn't over yet. The guy screams and takes the red ball out of his mouth. The guy says that the pill causes blood to explode and that he has gone crazy, and also explains that this is a simple match, not a fight to the death. The man explains that the pill can temporarily increase his strength several times over, but the side effects are severe, and he'll be bedridden for the next couple of months. He asks if it's really worth it. The guy says the newcomers tournament is in a month and they can't let them do this to Lei Zhou. The guy says that he will take responsibility for all the consequences and go to the end, and if he loses, he will accept it. A man with a raised fist says that taking medication during a match is unfair and cheating, while another man explains that it is against the rules. The woman explains that this is an informal sparring session without the strict restrictions of an exam, where looking at a textbook is allowed, and that weapons, armor, and medication are permitted. However, if Xu Jingming had pills, he could use them too. The man swallows a pill. The boy screams, clenching his hands and surrounded by flames. The girl explains that the blood explosion pill is far from low grade. It raised Lei Zhou's level to 2, and now Xu Jingming is in trouble. Xu Jingming is surrounded by energy and radiates a fighting spirit that has become even stronger and resembles the spirit of a true general, as the girl explains. He says that finally they will fight like adults. Xu Jingming screams and strikes with a spear, surrounded by electric discharges. He is surprised by the enemy's speed. The man with a fiery aura holds a sword and prepares to attack. The man screams as Xu Jingming deflects the attack with a staff surrounded by lightning and energy. A man dodges a flaming sword as it flies past him. The man breathes heavily. He says he's reached the 2nd level of strength, but he still can't defeat Xu Jingming and is surprised that he's a true monster. The guy says that if a direct attack doesn't help, then he will hit from a distance and shouts, attacking with fire projectiles. Xu Jingming shouts and strikes with his spear, surrounded by energy, and says that this is all the enemy has. The man is surprised that Xu Jingming's lightning ability is so flawless, and explains that if he repels the attack before the pill wears off, he will still have a chance, since the enemy cannot get close. The man falls, dropping his spear, and screams. A man screams. The man is surprised that Xu Jingming can also attack from a distance, and screams in amazement at the power of the technique, while asking what kind of technique it is. He says it's a thunder prison and screams, activating the electrical energy around him. The guy says it's a technique to restrain the opponent. The man concentrates his energy, creating a fiery barrier around himself. The guy says he can't get close and the other guy can't get out and suggests they see who can last the longest. Xu Jingming says the flame barrier is pretty good and suggests testing how many hits this defense can withstand. The boy screams and falls, surrounded by electric discharges, and the man looks at him in surprise, surrounded by fire. Xu Jingming shouts the name of the technique and releases several spears surrounded by purple energy. A man screams. The guy screams that he is going to die now and explains that if he gets hit, he will definitely die. The guy screams that he surrenders. A man screams. Xu Jingming screams as a man is punched in the stomach and bleeds. He says he's the winner of the match. The man explains that what's even crazier is that he's mastered them so much that he's ready to use them in combat. He explains that in his time, he only dared to take on one A-rank technique, Thunderflash, but it took him over 4 months to learn it, and explains that having such a strong junior disciple does put a bit of pressure on him. The woman says it's great. The man explains that these sparring sessions are actually profitable. The guy says he's cool and suggests they go into town today and relax. Xu Jingming is surprised. He says he has a workout later. The man explains that it's important to maintain a balance between rest and exercise. Lu Ming explains that Xu Jingming has been training non-stop and should rest. Xu Jingming says he will. The caption explains that Lu Ming possesses the A-rank True Thunder ability and is the vice president of the Ash Society. The guy with white hair says he's even more impressive in person than in photos. The guy asks if their plans for today are decided, and Xu Jingming says to rely on him, he will take care of all the entertainment. He is surprised when asking about entertainment. The guy says that under no circumstances should you miss out on spending time with other students in your student life. On the table are various types of bread and pastries, a pizza with vegetables and cheese, and a glass of drink. Next to it is a large roast chicken on a bed of lettuce leaves, a plate of vegetable and berry salad, and a bowl of soup with slices of bread. A guy says he posted an invitation to a party on a campus forum and asks how many people will be coming, and another guy explains that Xu Jingming's popularity has skyrocketed recently. The guy says his eyes started twitching while he was trying to pick out a few people, and the other guy says it was over 100 people. Xu Jingming says he's terrified to imagine who was chosen out of 100 people, and notes that his interlocutor is being overly involved in the whole thing. The white-haired man explains he'll keep it a secret for now and suggests they see him later. The white-haired guy says they're already here, and recalls the sun and the ray of sunshine, and the girl invites them here. The man is sitting at the table. The girl in the yellow dress says she's Qi Dongxia and has come by invitation. The woman behind her remains silent. Song Chiyun reveals that she is a neighbor. The guy explains that Qi Dongsha has the power of an A-rank beast, and Xu Jingming explains that Song Chiyun uses A-rank superpower of light and is also the top candidate of Sichuan province this year. He says it's nice to meet you and gives his name. The man asks if this is really the one. The girl says that she offers to arrange a sparring match and allows you to choose the place and time. The girl says June is crazy to suggest sparring on their first meeting, considering they just came to meet. The woman explains that she only came because she thought she could spar with him. Xu Jingming explains it's just a minor misunderstanding and offers them a seat. The girl explains they're just here to relax and suggests they eat first and then stroll through the shopping district. The girl admires it, it's so cool. The man with black hair and blue eyes smiles. The guy with white hair says something with a smile. The girl with glasses explains. The woman says everything is so fashionable here, and the man talks about the A-rank Moonblade. Xu Jingming explains that it is not surprising that it is one of the main trading centers of the country, where the choice of combat armor, weapons, and elixirs is much greater than in Jiangnan. The black-haired guy is surprised to see the dark-haired girl eating shashlik, and she explains that it's delicious. The gray-haired guy says he's already eaten today. The girl in the yellow dress says the shashlik looks delicious. Xu Jingming explains that this store offers clothes for every taste and that there are discounts. A girl in a yellow dress explains that she's already picked out a few items and is about to try them on. A man with white hair explains that he came here for a gift. He says that she spent several million in one night, and the man explains that Song Kyun dresses simply, but in reality her clothes are very expensive. The white-haired guy tells Xu Jingming that the girl not only has a rich life, but also an interesting story, and Xu Jingming is surprised. The girl asks the guys to help her carry the last package. The woman says they're there. The girl explains that they had a great time today and thanks them. Xu Jingming says no problem and says goodbye. The man says goodbye. the girls leave with their bags. She tells Xu Jingming that she was indeed serious about sparring and will challenge him sometime in the future. Xu Jingming says he will wait. The girl with purple eyes says she's not afraid, and the girl with glasses is surprised. The girl tells Qiyun that since they enrolled, she has never seen her be so kind to guys, but Qiyun was nice to Xu Jingming, and that inviting her along was a good idea. Xu Jingming explains that his A-rank power, Morning Light, gives him hypersensitivity, and he knows when guys are looking at him with dirty thoughts. The men around him admire the girl's perfect body with stunning curves, assuming she has a 4th grade. The woman says that he is different, there was no lust in his eyes, only assessment, and explains that in any case he is special. The girl is surprised that he seems to have touched Song Kyun's heart. The white-haired guy says that going out to rest was a good idea. Xu Jingming explains that, yes. He says that Song Kyun is a first-level top rank and explains that he still has some work to do. Xu Jingming says he can move forward again and explains the need to add points. A message appears about increasing the average level of the first rank to the top level of the first rank at 456 ability points, as well as a message about the transition of the stage of the ability, Thunder Indestructible Body, from the first to the second at 354 ability points. It is surrounded by lightning and glows with energy. Xu Jingming says who and explains that, as always, rank up strengthens overall strength, and the second stage of the Thunder Indestructible Body still concentrates. He says he can't wait for the extreme mode Thunder and regrets that he has almost no ability points left, then explains that it's time to ask the teacher to send him to the wilderness area to hunt and replenish his ability points. The man is surprised that Xu Jingming has enhanced his abilities again. Xu Jingming explains that he was just about to announce that he leveled up last night and that his indestructible thunder body technique has reached the second stage. The man is surprised that he has leveled up and improved his technique, as if it means nothing, and explains that S-rank strength combined with such an attitude will definitely lead to glory. A man says Xu Jingming is a monster, while another man explains that it took him more than half a year to advance from the intermediate level to the highest level. The man says that improving skills is important, but so is actual training, and he offers to spar with Lu Ming to see how strong he's become. The man agrees. The long-haired man explains to Xu Jingming that he will lower his strength to the lower level of rank 2 and asks him to do his best. A guy counts out loud from 3 to 1, preparing for a fight. A voice commands the attack. Xu Jingming strikes with his staff, surrounded by lightning and energy, directing it at the enemy, who repels the attack with his staff, also surrounded by energy. The man is surprised that his shot was blocked, but he says that since acquiring the system, this is his first equal opponent. Xu Jingming shouts that he is using Thunder Prison. He stands with concentration, holding a staff in his hands, and powerful electrical energy sparkles and shines around him. Xu Jingming recites the name of the Chain Lightning Spear technique while simultaneously attacking the enemy with a spear surrounded by electrical energy. He says that Bai used this combo to defeat Lei Chou, but it's not enough, he's not that freshman. Xu Jingming shouts that this is true thunder and releases a powerful electric shock. 15 minutes pass, he says that his strength is exhausted and he gives up. The guy explains that the man hasn't lost his technique, he's just run out of energy. The man says that it was a brilliant fight, and Xu Jingming's abilities exceeded all expectations. He explains that he thought that Lu Ming would easily defeat Xu Jingming, but the forces turned out to be equal, and he had to thoroughly exhaust Xu Jingming to finish the fight. The man asks if he knows what level his power has just reached, and the man asks what level exactly. Xu Jingming says he is level 2. The man explains that the Qingling fruit can relieve fatigue and is ideal for a post-workout snack. He says it's time to rest. Xu Jingming says he would like to ask the teacher for permission, and the teacher explains that he's listening. He says he plans to leave school and go to the wilderness area. The man asks how long the boy plans to go into the wilderness area, and the boy explains that it's about a month and he'll be back before the freshman competition. The man is surprised it's taken so long. The man explains that the wilderness zone is not an examination area under military protection. Monsters run around mindlessly, without being classified by level, and one wrong move can lead to an encounter with a high-ranking monster, and staying there for a month is even more dangerous. The man explains that every strong person must go through the difficulties of life, and if his student strives for this, he will not stop him, and also says that if the guy wants, he can go, but he must remember that if everything goes badly, he must run away immediately. Xu Jingming thanks his teacher. The man asks which zone the guy is going to, and the guy explains that it is a wilderness area on the outskirts of Yuanshui City. The man explains that the area near Modu City is relatively safe, as the highest rank of monsters there is, 4th or 5th, and he'll ask Lu Ming for some advice. Zhu Jingming says, "Okay, master." He explains that he won't be able to help when the other person is there, so he's prepared a really handy weapon for him. Xu Jingming says this. A bearded man holds a rolled scroll with blue energy lines glowing around it. He sits on the edge of the bed next to a long, wrapped object lying on it and explains that he has already eaten today. Xu Jingming tells Ava to open the school's mission system. He explains that, based on the advice of an older student, it's best to take on a few missions to earn credits before leaving school. Xu Jingming explains that all high-reward missions inevitably involve combat, which is dangerous for students, and explains that this is the teaching model at Fashion Superpower University. He says it's no surprise that the university's best students are not on campus but on the battlefield, and explains that he will choose an A-rank task and 3 B-rank tasks. Xu Jingming says that everything is ready and there is no time to waste, we need to move forward, and the robot wishes good luck. They tell you that a team of ferocious beast hunters needs a long-range shooter, explain about recruiting a C-rank team, talk about high-quality medicines, and ask who goes on reconnaissance missions. Xu Jingming says he's finally arrived at the Yuanshui City supply base. He steps forward. The woman in red explains that a lot of useful information can be found in this place, and the man in the white suit explains that data from past missions is stored here. He says that they need to thoroughly study the archive to prepare for the next mission. The woman in red explains that access to... The woman greets and explains that she can help with something. The man listens. Xu Jingming says he wants to register as an adventurer and explains that to enter the wilderness area, he must first register as an adventurer at the national level. The girl explains that the University of Superpowers is a fashion trend, and it's rare for someone of such rank to enter the wild zone, and he explains that making an ID card will take some time and suggests they take a rest for now. The woman explains that weapons are not allowed in this area. Xu Jingming explains that he doesn't intend to fight and simply wants to pass. The woman says that if he doesn't put his weapon away, he won't be allowed to proceed. Xu Jingming explains that his weapon poses no threat. The woman explains that. The guy with the white cloak says that this is the goddess Zhang Chushuan. The man with gray hair explains that his goddess is so beautiful, and as expected from a fashion university student, her fool is very intense. A woman with glasses and white hair walks ahead along with 2 men, one in a suit and the other with a camera. The woman explains that she is a second-year student at Supercell Modu University. A guy tells me that Goddess Zhang is going to the wilderness again to gather materials. The man explains that even though her videos are filmed by a whole crew, they're so cool that he watches every episode. Another man says he thinks Goddess Zhang has about 10 million followers online. The guy. Xu Jingming is surprised that the girl is from Modu University and comments on her appearance. He explains that the satellite smartwatch contains a map of the wilderness zone, with detailed markings of monster activity and the danger level in each zone, and hands the map to the adventurer. The adventurer thanks him. The woman says he's always working, and the guy says he's already eaten today. Xu Jingming explains that he won't interfere. The man asks if this is his first time going into a wilderness area and explains that he can't go without buying some medicine, offering to take some. Xu Jingming asks what the price is. The man explains that first-class medicinal tablets cost 20,000 rubles each, while first-class antitoxin tablets cost 15,000 rubles. He explains that second-class tablets are more effective, but more expensive, 40,000 and 30,000 rubles each. The man says the price is not that high and explains that he always has effective medications at a low price. Xu Jingming explains that even first-class pills usually cost at least 30,000–40,000, but his prices are suspiciously low, and says that most are scammers who usually target newbies who don't know much about it. He asks how much the other person wants, and explains that they have fooled many newbies with this trick. The man asks if Xu Jingming wants to force him to leave, and Xu Jingming explains that he thinks otherwise. The man says that this is good and very good, and then explains that the interlocutor here is the first one who is trying to outsmart him. The girl screams that Zhao Chonglin is deceiving the newcomers again. The man and Xu Jingming remain silent. The woman calls Wang Qian. The man explains that he was lucky this time. The man says it's better not to leave the base for the next few days, otherwise you'll regret it. A woman says the newcomer is doomed. A man asks why Zhao Chunling was chosen. Another man explains that he heard the newcomer reached the middle of the second rank and doubts the arrogant first rank can handle him. The woman says Zhao Chunlin never forgives insults and asks her not to leave the supply base anytime soon. Xu Jingming thanks her for the reminder and asks why no one stops Zhao Chunlin if he's deceiving people. The woman explains that he has connections on the black market and no one will dare stop him, so if he needs equipment, he should buy it through official channels. She also reminds him not to leave the base. The man listens. The woman explains that she is very friendly. The guy stands behind her and listens. The girl is surprised. Xu Jingming explains that he will first buy everything he needs for a month, including medicine, antitoxin pills, blood-exploding pills, and more. He explains that he wants to verify the information, and the woman explains that he needs to register to do so. A man in a black cloak and a spear on his back walks forward. A man in a red jacket steps aside. A man in dark clothing stands to the right. The man says that he told him not to leave the base, but the guy dared to go out, and that he really doesn't believe the warnings, and then asks if Xu Jingming thinks he can ignore him. He asks what the man in the group wants to do. The man says he will cut off his legs for being shamed, and explains that he will spend the rest of his life in a wheelchair, which will certainly dull his anger. The woman says she told him not to leave the base and is surprised he didn't listen, explaining that he needs to get help quickly. The girl explains that there's no need to rush and that he should learn from this so he doesn't ignore advice and be so indifferent in the future. The man says that if he's Zhao Chunlin, he won't be able to teach the newbie and won't be here again. He explains that he has metallic skin and a D-rank suit, so the newbie definitely won't be able to penetrate his defenses. The man says that until he pays 1 million in compensation and kneels before him, he then yells at him to shut up. Xu Jingming kicks his opponent, surrounded by lightning and energy, sending him flying backwards. 3 men fall, smashing to the floor with blood flying. The man falls with force, with debris and blood spraying around him. The woman is surprised. The man explains that he can't afford to lose face. The 2 men behind him are also surprised. The woman explains that this isn't the person they were looking for and that he shouldn't have shown up here. The man says he didn't expect Xu Jingming to show up in a place like this. Xu Jingming explains that he came here to sort things out. The man in the distance is surprised and says, "The boy is surprised that the enemy was instantly destroyed and so terrifying." The man says he didn't notice him move. The girl explains that Zhao Chonglin really did cross the line, and the man says he was afraid for the boy but didn't think he would be so strong. The woman is surprised she didn't see how he did it. The man explains that it was a powerful kick. Tunlin's pelvis was completely shattered, and even if he survives, he will remain in a wheelchair. The woman explains that it's no wonder the guy from Super Modu University is so strong and ruthless. The girl asks the captain how he knows about Modu University. The woman explains that she's only seen clothes like that at Modu University, and it's some sort of exclusive product. The woman with short dark hair says that only this university can produce such crazy people and asks if he should be included in the team, while the girl with short blonde hair explains that they are still looking for a strong attacker. The girl with red hair reminds Xiao Qian that during the training camp, the girl with short hair says the guy is really cute and she wouldn't mind him joining them. The girl with ponytails laughs and asks Xiao Qian if he likes the guy. Xiao Qian remains silent, his head down. Xu Jingning says the adventurer's information has been confirmed and entry into the wildlife area is permitted. Then the barrier lowers. A sound appears above the Yuanshui wildlife area. A man stands in the middle of the space. Xu Jingming is silent. Sharp sounds are heard. He explains that this howl serves to mark the territory of a wild beast, at least of the 4th rank, and tells that his target today is not this beast. Xu Jingming explains that the Yuanshui wildlands are divided into 2 areas, the ruined city and the mountain forest, and that the wild beasts in the ruined city are slightly weaker, so you can get points for catching them first. The man says the city in Pingnang County is good. It's mostly home to 2nd-rank beasts, a few 1st-rank beasts, but no 3rd or 4th-rank beasts. He explains that there are clearly at least 5 or 6 of them inhabiting the vast area. Xu Jingming says he is going to Ping'an County City. He retreats sharply, and a creature with purple eyes and sharp claws attacks furiously. The man says it's a rank 2 shadow cat and explains that he was given ability points on a silver platter. Xu Jingming explains that his body has been affected by the negative energy of the Thunder Tyrannosaurus lately, causing him to crave slaughter, and explains that the more this impulse is suppressed, the stronger the desire grows. He says that now he no longer has to hold back. The cat is screaming. The boy asks the captain what's going on with this city, and explains that they've been wandering around all day but haven't encountered any monsters yet. The man shouts that he doesn't know how he could know this, and Xu Jingming explains that there must be at least 500 to 600 wild monsters in the city, and even if all the beasts migrated, with such a large population they couldn't simply disappear. The beast roars. The man with the axe is surprised. The other men also react to the beast's appearance. The guy with the axe says it's a tiger blade, and the other guy explains that it wasn't easy to find and offers to kill it together. A powerful explosion of energy occurs, striking several people. The guy is surprised by what just happened and asks if it's a new laser weapon. The man explains that lasers are faster, and this looks like a lightning attack. The man says that we need to leave because this part of the city has been taken over by someone stronger, and this attack was a warning. A man explains that the Thunder Spear's power was so terrifying that his legs are still shaking, and another man says it's no wonder they couldn't find the animals, since they'd all been killed. A third man explains that they need to stop chatting and leave quickly, otherwise they'll anger the man. Xu Jingming explains that a high-level Thunder Spear has an attack range of over 1,000 meters, which he considers quite impressive. A notification appears stating that one Tier 2 Blade Tiger has been killed and 19 ability points have been earned. He says that many A-rank combat skills have reached the intermediate level and asks who else besides him is capable of such a thing. Su Jingming says that he will finish here. He needs to get ready. Tomorrow he will go to the supply base to replenish supplies, and then continue his research again. A man laughs and says that the backpack has grown legs, and another man explains that there is a whole rhinoceros in the backpack. Xu Jingming says it's fortunate he bought a reinforced tactical backpack, otherwise the 400 kilograms of animal materials wouldn't have fit. The woman asks what materials he would like to sell, and the man explains that they can first be placed on the plate over there. A man opens a bag, revealing sharp claws and horns. Xu Jingming explains that he has some second-rank wild beast materials weighing about 400 kilograms and asks her to see how much he can sell them for. The girl is surprised that it's too much. The woman says that dried tiger, blades, and rhinoceros horn are all essences. The woman asks to wait and explains that too many materials have been brought, so she needs to call more people to help. Zhao Yi says he is the purchasing manager and says hello. Xu Jingming states his name. The man explains that Xu Jingming is truly talented for his young age and is amazed that he has defeated so many beasts. He then suggests that they sit down and rest while they take inventory of the materials. The woman explains that the creature's name is Blade Beast, its rank is 2nd, and its weight is 26, which is its rating. The woman explains that this creature is Blade Beast. The man explains that such a young and talented fighter deserves to be treated well and asks for a Platinum Supply Base membership card, which offers a 5% discount on any purchase. Xu Jingming thanks Manager Zhao. The woman says the materials have been counted. Among the second-rank animals, there are 89 lower level, 107 middle level, and 221 lower level. The man is surprised that he destroyed all the animals. The man says there are 764,000 animal materials in total and suggests rounding it up to 25 million. Xu Jingming thanks him. He says that 25 million, ending in 743, was transferred to his account, and the balance is 29,000, 1,000, 20,400. He laughs and says that 29 million is like getting rich overnight. The man tells Manager Zhao before the meeting and offers to buy him some tea when he has time, handing over his business card. The man says this guy has a great future. Xu Jingming leaves without looking back. The man says, "Ching ching ching." A man asks Zhao Chunlin why he is calling. The man says he saw the guy who beat him up return to base and demands revenge. The man says that this is the first-ranking guy they were talking about and asks how he wants the man to take revenge. The guy screams that he should let Tiger Shark handle this. He needs him to suffer, not just die. The man says a squad will be provided, but from that moment on they will no longer have any contact. The boy explains that after that he will leave the city forever. The man refuses. He explains that he has a vague feeling of unease and may just be imagining things, and also explains that the Tiger Shark squad are elite second-rank fighters, and it won't be a problem for them to deal with the first-rank guy. The guy sneezes. Xu Jingming wonders what's going on and asks if anyone said anything bad about me. Wan Chuan says he alone brought in more loot than a dozen teams combined and explains that he will check the records. The man is surprised. The man says that Manager Zhao, this guy Xu Jingming, is very important to him and asks to be notified immediately if he comes again. The man explains that it's fine. The man can't believe that this guy made Old Man Wang so worried and explains that he seems to have a serious problem. The man says that he didn't expect another student of young Gentian to come to the base and explains that this guy's abilities surpass even Lu Ming, who has reached the highest level of the second rank, and calls him a true prodigy. Xu Jingming says that the spatial rings sold here cost more than 10 million, and their capacity is only a suitcase, which is expensive. He says that the rings are really comfortable and he wants to buy one for himself, and also explains that he wonders how much a ring that can hold an entire spear would cost. The man says, "Ching ching 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 ching." The guy asks Xu Jingming when he will return, since they haven't talked for a long time, and Xu Jingming explains that he will return in half a month and asks if something happened. He explains that he and his men are not going to leave, and the man in the wheelchair explains that they are not afraid. The man in the black coat explains that they came here to take back what is theirs. The woman says the man's goal is to break his arms and legs and then deliver him to her. The man replies that he understands. Xu Jingming says that while he was gone for a month, a new guy arrived and he is quite arrogant. The man replies, He asks if something is wrong and then tells me to continue. Xu Jingming tells them to prepare, as the target has entered Amaya, and instructs Heiji to analyze the target's strength. Heiji replies that she understands. The guy in the mask tells the captain that he sometimes exaggerates too much, and a first-rank guy can't cause any problems. He yells that he can't be. A guy with long blonde hair asks what's wrong and that something isn't working. A girl with short blonde hair explains that she can't do it. A man stands in the distance with his back to her. The guy with long hair says he'll share it with everyone so they can see it for themselves. At the bottom, it explains that psychic perception abilities depend on strength. The greater the strength, the brighter the aura. Xu Jingming says that his aura is weaker even though he's a top-tier rank 2 fighter, and explains that such a fighter can easily kill their team. The guy says the intelligence was wrong, the mission is cancelled, and they'll return to deal with Zhao Chunming. The man is surprised that Zhao Chunming is trying to deceive them and drag them into an adventure. The man wonders what is happening and why they ran away so abruptly. Xu Jingming says that the only person at the base who holds a grudge against him is Zhao Chunlin, and explains that he must be trying to get revenge by resorting to some dirty tricks. He explains that such people cannot be changed and that Zhao will teach him a lesson. A man screams and gets punched in the face. The guy screams about what happened and why he's being beaten. The man stands with his fists clenched. The man says that he gave them a false lead and almost killed them, and also explains that the target is not a top-level rank 1, but a top-level rank 2. The man is surprised that he has reached the highest level of the second rank, and explains that only a month has passed. The blonde guy says he doesn't care how it happened, and that the mission is over, and explains that they will deal with Manager Zhao themselves. The man asks if they returned so late and if they dealt with him, and the guy explains that the mission was cancelled. The man expresses bewilderment. The man explains that Zhao Chunlin's tip was false, and the target was a high-level second rank, and worse, judging from Xia's observation, his attack power is now at the low-level third rank, so they retreated. The man says that Chunlan has the highest level of rank 2 and attack rank 3, and explains that there is something wrong with Chunlan, asking who he thinks he is. The man says the target is a second-tier, top-level practitioner, and asks her name. Xu Jingming explains that Chunlan didn't give a name, but her appearance was clear. She's about 190 centimeters tall, muscular, and carries a long spear. The man is surprised that this is exactly it. The man shouts that he cannot allow people to be sent to kill Xu Jingming, and asks who he thinks he is. The man says that Manager Wang is just a second-rank fighter, and there is no need to be so angry. The man says that his greatness cannot be acknowledged, and explains that one must look at the records of Xu Jingming for oneself. The man explains that the top candidate in Jiangnan province is an 18-year-old freshman at Superpower University, Modu, who holds the highest level of second rank, which is unusual for freshmen. He explains that the head of the Weapons Institute, Yang Zhongtian, is this candidate's personal mentor. The man says things are bad. Xu Jingming explains that the other man now understands that he's a master-level figure and the government won't object if their base is dismantled piece by piece. He says that he will not allow any problems for their base. A man in a suit orders someone to be brought in while two men in suits carry another man. The man in the blue suit points to the side, while the man in the brown suit stands with his hands behind his back. The guy admits his mistake and asks to spare him. The man says the beating wasn't enough and the leader should be executed, and also blames himself for aiming too high. The man screams. A man is screaming. A man in a brown suit stands with his head down. A man in a black suit stands next to a man in a blue jacket who is holding the hands of a woman on his lap. The man asks the manager for help, and Xu Jingming explains that he thinks he's had enough. The man says he's been turning a blind eye to shady deals for years, but this time he made a huge mistake, and the girl starts talking, turning to the manager. The man explains that everyone involved must be severely punished, not just him, but the entire Tiger Shark squad, and that there can be no room for rumors or insults. Another man tells Manager Wang. A man in a brown suit stands in front with his hands behind his back, while the other men in gray suits stand behind him. The woman explains that the heads of all departments are here, except for the purchasing manager, Zhao, and the head of the base, General Manager Wang Chuan, is walking ahead. The man explains that, judging by everything, some important figure is about to arrive. The woman asks Xiao Chen if this is the guy from Modu University they saw back then, and Xiao Chen asks where exactly. Xu Jingming says questioningly. Manager Wang Chuan says that the student has finally returned and introduces himself as the head of the base. The girl is surprised that the managers are greeting the guy and explains that it seems that this guy is not an ordinary university student. The man explains that Zhao Chunlin received a just punishment for insulting them and that the accomplices were detained and will spend the rest of their days in prison. Then he explains that as an apology, they prepared something for them. Xu Jingming explains that it's no surprise that someone so ruthless holds such a high position and manages everything so cleanly. The man waves his hand. The man explains that this is a black and gold membership card. From now on, accommodation here becomes free, and any purchases are discounted by at least 20%. The woman explains that a gift should also be accepted, a spatial ring with a volume of 1 cubic meter. The man listens. Xu Jingming is surprised and says it is 1 cubic meter. The woman says that Manager Wang's action is truly sincere, and he explains that since Manager Wang is so considerate, he will accept the gift. The man says it's no wonder Master Yang's disciple Xu Jingming accepts gifts so generously and explains that his senior student, Lu Ming, also once trained at the water supply base. Xu Jingming is surprised. He explains that this is the best room he got with the black and gold card, which is more beautiful than the dorm rooms. He explains that after a month of training, he can finally rest. The man explains that next time problems arise, they should contact him directly, as he has connections outside the city. Xu Jingming explains that this is a legacy of his past, and if he were an ordinary, high-level second-tier person, he wouldn't have received so much attention. He explains that a spiritual imprint is necessary to use the spatial ring, and tells that his spiritual power is currently at 972, which is much higher than other top-level second-ranked fighters, so leaving a spiritual imprint will not be difficult. Xu Jingming says that he can now pull things out with his mind and fold them while the ring is in contact with his body, and explains that, aside from the fact that no living being can be placed in this space, the ring is indeed a useful thing. The phone on the table is ringing. Xu Jingming says he just came out of the wilderness area and explains there's something else he wanted to tell. The man confirms. The man says they dare send men to set up an ambush, and the ring is the least compensation they could have given, and explains that if anything happens to the man he's talking to, he'll dismantle the enemy supply base brick by brick. The man remains silent. The man asks Xu Jingming why the group of elite, upper-level, second-rank warriors who had been pursuing him to the alley were treated. Xu Jingming explains that perhaps they discovered that he, too, was an upper-level, second-rank warrior, which didn't meet their expectations, so the man is surprised that he has already reached the highest level of the second rank and says that he has only been training in the wild for a month. He explains that he leveled up a couple of days ago. The man laughs and says that it is not surprising that the interlocutor is his student, and his progress in developing skills is even faster than his, and also asks when he plans to return because he wants to congratulate him personally. Xu Jingming says he'll return before the start of his studies and plans to enter a high-risk zone, explaining that he has a high level of mastery over Thunder Roar, so 4th-tier monsters shouldn't be able to reach him. He explains that if he encounters a 5th-tier beast, he can use a blood pill. He says it sounds great, but still remember to be careful, and the man explains that he understands. The man says he hasn't seen the master so happy in a long time and laughs. Another man explains that Xu Jingming is good not only at training, but also at actual practice. He develops his skills at an unheard-of rate, and that life's dangers give strength, which is certainly true of Xu Jingming. Wildlife area, forested mountain range. Xu Jingming says that the roars of ferocious beasts can be heard everywhere, and explains that compared to the city ruins, the resources of the ferocious beasts in this area seem much more valuable. He is surprised and reacts sharply to the rapid flow of energy directed towards him. A man strikes with a staff while surrounded by purple energy and lightning. A glowing green ring appears around the stumps in the forest. The terrible storm wolf appears. Xu Jingming explains that 3rd-tier ferocious beasts typically possess special abilities similar to those of humans, and explains that the dread storm wolf is a wind elemental ferocious beast whose strength should be at the mid-tier level of 3rd tier. He asks how many points. He says it's a terrible storm wolf. The man explains that this wolf's surrounding power is quite strong and must be a mid-level 3rd-tier beast, and a beast of that rank could be a source of material for Zhang Chu. The girl is surprised by the name Zhang Chuan. The warrior explains that, as usual, they must first seal off the escape routes. Xu Jingming is surprised that, besides Zhang Chu, all the other 3rd rankers are trying to steal this wolf from under his nose. The text explains that the rule of the wildlife zone states that ferocious beasts and other resources. The woman tells Captain Wang that she doesn't like stealing other people's loot for filming. The man explains that it's not stealing, but helping others for fun, and explains that a 2nd-rank adventurer encountered a ferocious 3rd-rank beast, And at a critical moment, Zhang, the woman, says she doesn't need staged fake shots, and that the guy looks calm and doesn't seem to need help. The man explains that. The guy says that this is some kind of work, and the other guy explains that if they don't like it, then they will find another monster and calls for them to move forward. Xu Jingming says that Jiang Tushuan is quite kind and that the powerful person still has something in his heart, but he says that although she showed her killer look, her control over the team is not that strong, and adds that, let's forget it, it's none of his business. Xu Jingming says that when there is a third-rank fighter nearby, you act meekly, but as soon as they leave, you strike back. The wolf growls and rushes forward. He says that they arrogantly do not put him in anything and strikes. Xu Jingming explains the name of the technique, electric storm break, while simultaneously attacking the creature with a staff surrounded by electrical energy. He gets 34 ability points for killing a rank 3 storm wolf, and explains that this is a good result. Xu Jingming says he will have to work hard in the next 10 days. The caption states that 7 days have passed. A monkey screams, and another monkey screams too. Then a purple energy blast appears, striking the monkeys. The beast screams as a powerful bolt of light and electricity hits it. Two large beasts with sharp claws and red eyes roar and rush at each other, causing a whirlwind of wind and dust. Xu Jingming explains that the thunder spear didn't kill one of the monkeys because it is the leader of the pack and possesses enormous strength. Xu Jingming steps on the monkey, which roars. He says that over 3,000 ability points are enough to learn S-rank skills, and says that he has been waiting for this for so long. Xu Jingming holds a staff that begins to emit a blue glow and form a holographic image of mountains. He explains that this is a distress signal. A girl jumps from branch to branch in the forest. The woman explains that the team was divided into rank 4 monsters and then encountered a rank 3 beast, a burrowing dragon, and warns that things are bad. At this point, the burrowing dragon roars and attacks swiftly. The man says that any beast with a name that includes the word dragon is definitely ruthless and will bring a lot of trouble, and he, being at the middle level of the second rank, will definitely not be able to defeat it without amplifiers. The girl screams and hopes that some group of adventurers will notice her signal and come to her aid. The girl screams that she is finished with the grass, and explains that if there are no trees blocking the path, then he will definitely catch up with her. The girl screams that she has nowhere to run.